globe as it happens. From breaking updates to expert analysis, hear every angle from known stations like BBC, NPR, Fox News Radio, CNN, and more. Wherever you are, TuneIn is your front row seat to the news that's shaping the world. Download the TuneIn app to listen or search news on TuneIn to stay in the know.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Sports 1440. Radio station. The KJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Your station, Sports 24/7.
Got to be aware of the inbounder here if you're Philly. It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game series. Toronto is won.
Sports all day.
Feels like you're floating out there sometimes.
He's hit this one pretty well to the opposite field. It is gone. What a moment for Sean Keys, his first major league home run. And it gives the Blue Jays a 5-0 lead.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Visit. Set down the ice and more icing. Skinner to play it. Broberg again. Moore was changing. And that gives the debut. Drop it. Scores. His first goal since the Calgary series 2 years ago in Stanley Cup playoff action.
Edmonton's sports leader. We are Sports 1440.
Good morning. It is Friday, July the 3rd, and what a barn burner to open up Week 5 in the CFL down at the Stampede Bowl in Calgary. Kyle Lowry going to retire as a Toronto Raptor and have his number hanging up in the Raptors as one of the all-time greats to don the jersey in Toronto. And Cristiano Ronaldo finally scores when it matters most, advancing Portugal past Croatia in a nail-biter at the World Cup round of 32 action yesterday. Good morning to you and welcome into Sports 1440. Douglas in the mornings for one final day. Brandon Douglas with you as Josh Fenwick, Donovan Paulson alongside in studio as well. And thank you very much for tuning in to the program. We'll check in on a wide variety number of topics to send you into the weekend. And being Friday, that of course does mean it's Playlist Friday here on the morning show. If you've got a tune to put you in a good mood, sending you off into the weekend. Maybe it's a long weekend for you since it was a Canada Day on Wednesday, kind of a bit of a patchwork week in that regard. Maybe we'll put a Canadian theme, a Canadian feel to Playlist Friday today to coordinate ourselves with celebrating our nation earlier on this week. 1-833-401-1440 is the text line. We can get your thoughts on everything from the NHL free agency period rolling on. Of course, Week 5 in the CFL. The Elks will be in action tomorrow in BC, taking on the Lions, looking to remain perfect on the year and improve to 4-0. And, of course, Team Canada at the World Cup round of 16 debut match as well. However you are listening to us, we do appreciate this morning, of course, all the streaming options at your disposal, the TuneIn app, iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, our very own website there as well, and the traditional terrestrial AM radio dial. And if you want to watch us, you got options there too. Our YouTube page, Sports1440 AM, is where you can find it on the tube. Be sure to subscribe, drop us a like while you're watching the video. We would greatly appreciate it. And then all of our social channels, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, even Twitch. It's all there for you to tune in and see our smiling faces here on a Friday morning. And since it is Friday, that can only mean one thing. The much-awaited weekly second appearance of Grey Cup champion, Double E legend, all-decade team, Vanier Cup champion, U Sports icon.
Oh, talk to me, Duke. Keep going.
That's all I got. I can't. I don't have the laundry list like Brian Desjardins did when he came in here. I can't remember the name of your junior football team out there.
My Pee-wee, North Winnipeg Nomads.
The North Winnipeg Nomads. I need to write that down so I can't remember or can't forget it. Excuse me. It is Eddie Steele, the real 97 in the city in the green and gold. Good morning, Eddie.
Duke.
Weird week, but we've got 2 doses of you as per usual. So I think everybody's pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
How was your Canada Day? Did you get up to much with the family or anything?
It was good. That Canada Day, the break in the middle was a little interesting. I got back to work yesterday for a bit. I'm kind of going to be chilling a bit today. It won't be pounding the pavement as hard when we get out of the studio. I have a lot of customers that did the smart thing. They had the Canada Day, then they took Thursday, Friday off, right? That's the well-played game. So then you have that extra long weekend. So there wasn't a lot of business out there for me yesterday. It was a pretty quiet day in the sales game. Family on Canada Day? Awesome, Duke. Good time with the family. It was a nice day out, bike ride, barbecue, just hung out, played a lot.
Yeah, Canada Day is so weird for me. I stayed in Edmonton this year, which is not something I often do because back home in Delbert, I've talked about it pretty extensively. Like Canada Day is a big deal. Like we got the parade, pancake breakfast at the hall. There's stuff all around town, like kind of like a farmer's market, stuff at the park going on. Tractor pull is a big deal. Usually some slow pitch or fastball games at the Diamond, and a little bit of everything for everyone. But with the Wednesday this year, the quick turnaround, I was like, I'll just stay in the city. And I just kind of was left thinking, I don't really know what to do with myself because I don't know, even in my community, my neighborhood of the city, like maybe there's something at the local hall or the park. I have no sniff, no clue. So instead I just came in here and sat in the studio and watched Low Tide Gregor and Fenny go to work for a couple hours. Got a few things ready for the new format of the show getting underway next week here.
It was a very busy trade day, huh?
Well, it was busy, all right, Eddie. I mean, we spent 4 hours straight essentially talking about it yesterday with like essentially a brief 15-minute hiatus obligatorily to talk about the Jaylen Brown trade in the NBA going to the Sixers. And other than that, it was just wall to wall. And pretty much on this show anyway, we touched on some of the other markets and what they accomplished. It was all Oilers. And so for you, watching what kind of fell down on July 1 and then spilling into yesterday a little bit, well, what did you make of what the Oilers accomplished on the opening day of the new calendar season year, that is?
I mean, based off what all the talk was, the pink elephant in the room was Darnell Nurse, right? So to have Stan Bowman be able to go out and accomplish what he accomplished and have San Jose and have Oilers not retain any of Darnell's contract, have San Jose take on the whole contract and get some assets back in return, I think that's a pretty big dub for Stan Bowman and the Oilers management.
Yeah.
I like it overall. You heard Low Tide say, keep the powder dry. Let's not make any moves July 1st. I think that the moves that were made, they weren't big splashes. I think they were fairly conservative, but they were moves that do help bolster the roster. Now, when I say that, is the roster better today than it was game 82 last year? I don't know about that, but I think that it does help getting this Darnell Nurse contract off the books because they bolstered the roster to a degree. They filled some spots, but then there's still some cap space to play with. Say, for example, down the road, you are looking to add. So Stan Bowman, I think the biggest thing that he did, the biggest box that he checked was eliminating that contract off the books. And I was quite surprised that he did it in the way that he did it. How about you, Duke?
Yeah, I always kind of felt like Nurse would eventually expand the list because it seemed, based on reports we got from all the insiders, that Philly and Pittsburgh in particular, and then Boston was obviously in the mix, like they didn't have much interest in taking the deal at full freight. And I kind of like going all the way back when this first broke that this is the direction the franchise was going and they were parting ways with Nurse. My thing was like, I am less concerned about the return, but if you're making this decision to move on, you need to move the entire contract because of the term that remains on it. To have even just a couple $1,000,000, or if it was going to be 3 or 2.5, whatever the case, continuing to linger there, like those are things that can just get really frustrating, I think, when you're trying to assemble a roster. Look at it this year. Like the Oilers have $2.6 million of Jack Campbell buyout still just sitting there completely wasted. And so when you're talking about salary retention, that is a tool better utilized by teams in rebuilds and in turnarounds because they're usually okay with empty space and they want to bottom out. Like if you're trying to build a championship roster, wasted salary cap space is not your friend. So getting it off the books in its entirety. And I figured San Jose or Anaheim were the most logical landing spots at this point. Nurse expanded his list of open destinations, and Bowman executed. And I think he did very well. I know Mike Greer was taking it on the chin quite a bit as a result after it was a great start to the offseason for the Sharks. And when you talk about the draft and the acquisition of Kesselring, they're like, all right, well, they need defensemen. And the deal they signed Trouba to, now with the Nurse contract kind of flanking opposite it on the other side, what technically profiles out as your top 2 D-men. Yeah, I'm a little curious about how the Sharks are going to look on the back end, but hey, there's still some runway in the offseason to get things figured out on that front. And then ditto for the Oilers, because as you just said, they've got some wiggle room still. And whether that be the talk of Claude Giroux, seems like it would be a perfect fit. We were chatting with Liam Heroven from Oilers Nation yesterday. He would love to see Patrick Kane as a top 6 scoring option, kind of round out this forward group. You've taken some flyers on goalies. That does improve the position at face value right now. You figured out your defense. You seem to be pretty set there. Now you can make another add or two maybe to your forward group and go into the season with what I think at that point would be an improved roster than, like you said, we saw in game 82. But that is still to be, I would put it at still like to be completed on that front.
What do you think about the 3 goalies going into next year?
Man.
Are you down with that concept, running 3, or where are you at with that?
I felt like even over the course of just the show yesterday, I like slid a little bit in one direction and then I slid a little bit back the other, depending on who I was talking to, and even just fleshing it out here in studio with Laddie and with Donovan and stuff. I do think I like it. I don't like a 3 goalie system as a long-term solution, but if we're talking about going into camp and having 3 guys, each in their own respective way, something to prove, competition's never a bad thing.
Never.
And so then if it gets to a point where you've got a guy that's clearly taking the reins as a starter, or maybe even 2 guys that are playing that much better, and you need to figure out what to do with the third, whether that is an assignment down to the minors and you risk waivers. Now we know a guy like Jari's probably not much of a risk on waivers because of the contract. Levi, unless he's playing really, really poorly, you have to think somebody would still take a chance on claiming him. So I don't know how it ends, but I think I'm okay with how it starts for this team to begin the season as this rotation, get everybody touches. Because the reality is, Anderson's going to miss time.
That's just it.
Like it's and so having, let's just say Tristan Jarry, unless he comes back substantially improved from what we saw last year, which there's no reason to not think he can't play better. We've seen it. But if he ends up as the third guy, you send him through waivers down and he's in Bakersfield ready there, that should Anderson go down or something, you still have a viable option as opposed to completely trading him away just to get the money off the books. Well, then now your next option in the minors is Matt Tompkins. That little bit of extra layer and blanket of security, I think, is something that this team covets right now at the position because of how influx it has been the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's the situation, I think, warrants it and merits it, because we know, like you said, Freddie's not going to go full term.
No.
That's just the case at this point in his career.
And it's funny because you do, like, that that's the case, but no long-term commitment, 1 year, $1 million bucks. It might cost you another, I think it's 1.8 if he hits his bonuses to then push against you next year. I kind of think it was like, that's definitely a gamble worth taking. Like you can't have much of a lower end risk than that.
I have quite a question for you boys then. Freddie just won a cup. What did he go in the playoffs? 13-2? Started really hot. We know that. It didn't end well for him, especially in the finals. Don't you think that he would be a bit more coveted in free agency, and then to only sign a $1 million deal? That's like very bargain basement.
I don't know if there was a huge goalie market this summer for teams that needed goaltending or wanted goaltending. Now, if someone was looking to bring Anderson in as a pure backup at this same type of cheaper deal to complement what they already have, whether it be a younger guy or something, maybe he looked at Edmonton and saw an opportunity to continue to be the number one guy. And if the offers weren't out there at any more security for term, like at his age with his track record, I don't think there were teams lining up to give him a 3-year deal or anything like that, right? So I think he sees Edmonton as an opportunity. And I mean, it's almost like, well, I've already, hoisted the trophy. I've climbed to the top of the mountain. Now where's my best chance to maybe do it again and have there was so much talk and I was right in on it about the new coaching hire and how it might deter or scare away some potential acquisitions for this team, whether it be people waiving no movement or no trade clauses to come here or free agents wanting to come here. I mean, it's not like they signed a ton of new faces, but when you look at Shea, you look at Anderson in particular, and then obviously some of the forwards that are coming back, you kind of think, all right, well, it doesn't seem to have had a huge impact, at least right now or so far. 7:14 in Edmonton. Let's say good morning to Donovan Paulson, back for one final show at this point in the day.
Yes, sir.
But next week, you're back to the afternoon program.
Yes.
Which I know you're not quite the same as Josh Fenwick with your adherence to the morning program. But do you prefer that, Donovan? Are you more of a night owl than a morning bird?
Oh, Duke, you should know this by now.
You don't like getting the worm?
He hates
I am not the morning bird. I don't like getting the worm. I will
Shameful.
survive and I will power through. But the amount of
so
energy
glad you
drinks
could do
you've
that
seen
for
me
us.
consume by now, you should probably know. The mornings, it's a bit of a grind getting here and powering out of bed, but we make it in. We persevere. And Eddie, to your question about Freddie, it's just the injury history. It's 107 games over the last 4 seasons for Freddie. That's
games
just
missed.
No, that played
games
total
games started
in the regular season. So that's why he gets that deal. I would assume he probably does the Oilers a bit of a favor there in terms of the $1 million and then the 1.8 in bonuses. I would assume that's just kind of a favor and I'm going to get my money anyways. Like it's 10 games played. He gets a lump sum, and then he gets another lump sum at 20 games played. I think it's 600, 400. I forget if it's 600 for 10 or
either or. It's
either
like
or. It's something like that. But yeah, like to me, that's just based on the rap sheet of injuries.
Fair.
Text line 1-833-41440. They're already flooding in lots of requests for a Playlist Friday. This isn't a requirement, but if you're so inclined, maybe a Canadian theme to celebrate Canada Day from earlier in this week to send everybody off into the weekend. Maybe you're jetting off for a little camping getaway, hitting the golf courses with a slight string of better weather, although I know a lot of the courses are still pretty underwater, both in a literal sense more so than a figurative one, because man, it's been tough sledding. But you got out on Canada Day, you said?
Yeah, I got an early morning round in. It was pretty squishy.
Just by yourself?
No. Grant Shaw, former teammate, and then a couple of his buddies.
And one of the other buddies that I've played with has texted in. It's not about your golf game though.
What is it?
Eddie Steele, is it your birthday today?
No, not today. Tomorrow.
Oh,
July 4th. It's actually my sister's birthday today.
A true patriot.
Yeah, a true patriot. I'm a dual citizen too. Don't hold it against me. So I would spend all my birthdays growing up down
and celebrating 4th and
with
stuff.
my family, grandparents down there. Boy, it was a party.
Listen, you can chastise our neighbors to the south for a lot of things. The way they celebrate the 4th of July is not one of them. They do it upright.
Big.
And they do it very American. My only qualm, they just call it 4th of July.
The 4th.
Why don't you, Independence Day is a sick name for a holiday. Why don't you call it that more?
It's too big.
No.
It's too big.
Shorten it then. The kids are all about short. I'm just getting out, heading out with the boys to rip beers for Indy P Day.
Duke, I got a big day lined up tomorrow for the birthday too. 6:36 a.m. tea time.
My invite must have got lost in Canada.
Well, man, tell me when your knee is good to go again here, Mr. Banged Up.
Just like Donovan has so courageously and bravely endured the morning show this week, I would go through fire and brimstone.
Just all upper body, man.
Dude, that's I didn't have to play slow pitch this week because it got canceled, but I got back out there last week. You should have seen, I batted the opposite way. So right-handed, and you should have seen these hacks I was taking, just all arms.
Oh, man. That's that 80-year-old man golf swing.
Exactly. Busy program today over the course of the next 3.5 odd hours or so. We're going to try and touch on as many different topics as we can, because it is a very busy weekend, including the Elks in action in BC tomorrow, Canada at the World Cup, as we mentioned too, along with the Blue Jays opening a set in Seattle against the Mariners. Riverhawks, Brick Invitational here at the mall. We will do some good potpourri over the course of the next 3.5 hours. First thing, Jason Greger from the Jason Greger Show, 2 to 6 here on Sports 1440 will join us to talk some Oilers, talk some Elks, and talk some World Cup. At 8 o'clock, Mark Spector in his usual slot to send us into the weekend, see what Spec's getting up to out at the lake. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Tom Galletti from NHL.com out east, he will dip in with some of the activity that the teams out there have gotten up to, particularly the Washington Capitals, who've had a very, very busy offseason so far. We'll hear from Camp Tate. And then at 10 o'clock hour, as we do every Friday, Gary Meyer, golfing with the G-Man. We'll pop in. We'll talk a little bit of golf around the city and at the professional level. And Chad Rumpel, Eagle Rock Director of Golf, will be our guest at 10:20. Jason Greger, when we return with our headliner of the day here on Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Eddie Steele, Josh Fenwick, Donovan Paulson, all alongside. You can watch the show. We're streaming it on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
You want it? We got it. At Harley-Davidson of Edmonton, we have a huge bike inventory just waiting for you to ride. We're not a car dealer. We're your local family bike shop. We are riders supporting riders. Come find your dream bike here at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980. Find us at hdedmonton.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Wendy's 99-cent Frosty is back, and Frosty farmers couldn't be happier. Made with Canadian dairy, they grow up cool, creamy, and mighty thick. It's farm to Frosty. Get a small 99-cent Frosty until August 2nd. At participating Wendy's, taxes extra.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged, and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
Mornings are getting a whole lot sexier. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting July 6th on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host Brandon Douglas.
7:21 in Edmonton. Welcome back to Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas in for one final show before, yes, the mornings will get a whole lot sexier. As a Tommy G, the Tom Gazzola Show, will make its much anticipated debut on our airwaves Monday morning, 7 a.m. Tommy G, yours truly, and Josh Fenwick and Eddie, I guess, back for Monday morning as well. We'll kick things off to send the morning show into a new era, a new wave of excitement.
We need Tommy G, because I've been doing my hardest, my best work to bring up the looks in this studio.
Right.
And Kevin's been holding us back. Kevin's
Right.
gone, been working hard. Now we got Tommy G. We are the sexiest studio
The
in
good thing,
Edmonton.
Eddie, is that Tom brings something neither of you and I really can.
Hair.
The great hair. The great hair. And listen, Karius did his best to hold us up.
He did.
But Father Time comes for us all.
He's undefeated, Father Time.
So good for Kevin, but I think the stress of holding up the likes of you and I really weighed on his hair.
She was
over the last
thinning a
couple of
bit
years.
now. She's thinning a bit, KK.
Let's get to our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. Draining clogged pipes like 3-pointers for all your plumbing needs. Go to mrrooter.ca. We welcome in Jason Greger from the Jason Greger Show. You hear it every day from 2 to 6 right here on Sports 1440. Gregs, good morning. Happy Friday to you. How are things rolling into the weekend for you today?
Well, boys, I was just enjoying the no defense CFL game last night. The Calgary Stampeders, quite the performance by Mr. Adams Jr. And really, you have 6 touchdowns. You only completed 20 passes in the game, and 6 of them were for touchdowns. 5 completions were for 212 yards. Like, the Toronto Argonauts defense is brutal, but these two teams came in as the 2 highest scoring teams in the league, and they didn't disappoint. That was the easiest over you ever could have taken before the game started. Yeah,
they ran out of fireworks down at McMahon for the celebration of the touchdowns. They had too many touchdowns. They weren't prepared for that much of an offensive output. And listen, Greg, it's actually funny you mentioned that, because it's where I wanted to start with you this morning, is this notion of the Stampede Bowl, right? The greatest outdoor show on turf, as they've dubbed this the past couple of seasons, to kick off the Calgary Stampede. Obviously a historic tradition down in Cowtown. And it's been bounced around on this show between Eddie, myself, and Kevin, going back to last year when it's made its debut. Like, can you ever envision the Elks trying to mimic this in some way? And I get it. K-Days and stuff, it does not compete with what the Stampede is. But it's some way to make an event out of at least one game a year that isn't just the Labor Day or in the rematch.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it, but I don't know if you can falsely manufacture something, and it would take a long time, right? The first year, it's not like people, I think, are just going to automatically flock to something because, well, if it's never happened, you got to build it up to something. So I think right now the Elks, they're just looking to bring back consistency in the organization at all levels, and so far I think we've seen that from business side with Chris Morris, the management side with Ed Hervey, and coaching with Killam, and now the players. So it would be a good idea to have to look at it, but I think they would be better off to do it when the team was on maybe more solid ground, and they're trending towards that right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Greg's. Right now, the Elks, they're in the first baby steps of their program in terms of recovery in this city. And that's just taking it day by day. Go to practice, work hard. Chris Morris continue to do what he does, and then continue to win games week in and week out. So the Elks are in BC this Saturday, a reeling BC Lions team they're taking on. What do you want to see out of this Double E football club outside of the win, of course?
Well, I'm very curious to see Jabomi and what's going to happen with him starting at the middle linebacker position. Brock Mogensen's out. Obviously, Nick Anderson's still on the 6th game. So, you know what? Hey, he was your top pick, 3rd overall. I don't think anybody thought he would get to start in the 4th game of the year, but who knows? Maybe this guy's the next JC Sherritt. Remember when JC came in for an injury, started one game, and then never gave the job back? So you never know what can happen. So I'm interested there. Rourke and BC's offense is still very dangerous. I still would argue that Rourke's maybe the best quarterback in the league. So, as he's getting receivers back, who's going to be shutting down Hatcher? That's the key. And then more so, what can Edmonton's offense do? BC's run defense is the best in the league. Now, Edmonton's got the best running attack in the league. And if you look at BC, what you have to do is you have to get to their secondary. That's where they're exposed. And teams that have beaten them down the field. And I'm not really sure that that's Cody Fajardo's game, right? To he doesn't have the best arm to go downfield. So I'm curious to see how they're going to attack him, because every game so far, as good as the Elks have been, they're 3-0. Every game, there's been a long stretch where the offense has done absolutely nothing. And you just can't keep winning games when your offense goes a quarter and a half, 2 quarters where they do nothing and they don't drive the ball and they don't have any extended drives. And that's been an issue. Like, you know what? Like you look at that Winnipeg game, they had 2 early drives of like 100 yards. It was unreal. And then they went like a quarter and a half where they did nothing. So there needs to be a little bit more consistency from the offense.
And to piggyback on top of that point, Greg's, they need that consistency. And it's not all about points. It's not all about getting field goals or touchdowns. It's about flipping the field. One goal that the offense usually tends to have is let's get 2 first downs on this drive. And then whatever else happens, because it's that yardage and you're playing the field position game. And they lose that field position battle quite often because the offense just stalls so quickly.
Yes. No, it's about consistency. You're not going to score touchdowns every drive. I get it. Although, like the CFL this year, did you know that 25 going into last night's game, and I actually think it's higher now, but going into last night's game, 25% of drives across the league resulted in touchdowns. It's the highest rate ever, early in a season. And so you're not going to score every time, obviously, but you can't, like, you'll have 2 and outs, but you can't have like 5 series of 2 and outs. And it's kind of being feast or famine a little bit with the offense.
Jason Gregor from the Jason Gregor Show, our guest here on Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Eddie Steele and Brandon Douglas in studio with you. So, Jason, the comparison between what you talked about with the Lions run defense and obviously the offense for the Elks all going through a guy like Justin Rankin, both in the run and then in the short passing game as well, where obviously Fajardo's strengths lie. To you, is that something that for Jordan Maximic that you lean into and you say you continue to lean on your run game to hopefully try and set up a pass, or do you think that the game plan coming in will be a deviation almost entirely from what we've kind of seen here in the early going of the campaign for the Elks?
Well, I don't know why you'd ever go away with what you're good at, right? They're built to run the ball. They've got the best running back in the league. And yeah, BC's got a good run defense, but they've also got a good run defense against teams that don't have Justin Rankin and don't have the O-line that the Elks have. So I don't think you can suddenly go away with what you're good at. You got to be confident to say, hey, we can win with what we're good at. Obviously, you're going to have to mix in some opportunities because BC's secondary has been getting lit up. So can you find a way to have BC think, man, we got to really load guys in the box because they're going to run the ball? Then you're going to get more man-to-man coverage one-on-one in the secondary, and that should open up some opportunities for Mac and others when they're receiving. So ultimately, though, Justin Rankin's got to get 20 touches a game. Mm-hmm. He's their best guy. He has to get 20 touches, and he's basically getting 20 touches if you look at it. So I wouldn't suddenly go away to say, oh, you know what? We respect BC's run defense so much, so we're not going to have the ball in the hands of our best player. That's a recipe for losing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more on that one. As Jason Gregor from the Jason Gregor Show guesting with us here, also contributor at Elks Nation and of course Oilers Nation too. So last one on the double E for me, Greg's red zone opportunities. You talked about how the conversion to touchdowns is higher than it's ever been across the league, but the Elks they kind of sit middle of the pack to the bottom half here because they've had tons of red zone opportunities. They're second in the league in plays run in the red zone, but are actually third from last in touchdowns scored from inside the red zone this so far this season. Is that an area of concern for you, or is it something that will continue just to kind of get itself worked out as the season moves along?
Well, yeah, it's an area of concern. Like the one when Ford, when the defense gets a huge hit, then a fumble, then a lateral, and you run it all the way inside the 5, you got to punch the damn ball in. But I actually liked the second time when they gambled, and if Luther doesn't juggle the ball, it's a touchdown. So that was the right call, and they actually made the right throw. He just bobbled it, and then by the time he had possession, he was outside the end zone. So though it's something they still have to work on for sure. Maybe you got to get a little bit more creative in the red zone. I would like to go spread formation as much as I could in the red zone, and then you can either go, play action or throw into the flat for Justin Rankin. Anytime you can get Rankin into open field, I don't even care if you only got to go 4 yards. He's going to beat guys one-on-one more often than not. So I'd like to see a little bit more. They've been trying to really pound the ball in the red zone, and they were getting stuffed. So that's something I would look at. Against BC, I would definitely maybe have some, roll out a little bit with Fajardo and see what you can do. But overall, like, they're getting better. I still think at times, like, I'd like to see a little bit more creativity from Maximic, but I do know that they're limited in some of the play calling because their quarterback isn't a guy that's going to just crush you the ball downfield. And defenses know that. So that does limit you at certain times.
That is the X factor point right there, how you wrap that up, Greg's. Cody Fajardo, we talk about it on Elks Nation all the time, and it's no shade to him. He's a football player. He is a ball player. He plays the position quarterback, but he's very reminiscent of Michael Riley. Yeah, Michael Riley could sling the pill, but he was going to also put his body on the line, get first downs. Bo Levi out there, he's a gunslinger. They're different, where Cody Fajardo is a ball player. You see how a couple of games ago, he's going and lead blocking for Justin Rankin, selling out. That's the difference between the two. And it is somewhat limited, but that is who this offense is. They're not going to be an aerial attack, but they will have the capability to march the ball down the field because they have the weapons, and they need to do so that way. I wanted to shift gears here, Greg's, and now that the dust has settled, it's July 3rd, 2026. Do you think that this Oilers roster is good enough to win it all, or is that always just going to be the case because you have 97 and 29 on the roster?
Well, no, Edmonton's, I look at it when the season starts, I'd say there's 8 legit competitors and contenders for the cup, and Edmonton's one of them right now. Now, is the roster you see today, guys, is not the roster that's going to start the playoffs. So that's why I look and say contenders. Lots is going to change between now and the trade deadline. Then there's going to be injuries and other things like that. Edmonton, for the first time in like a decade, has legit amount of cap space that they can make some moves here. I think it's obvious they would like another scoring winger. I think anybody who watches the roster knows that and sees that, and they've got more than ample cap space to do it. Now, whether they do it between now and the start of the regular season, or they do it between now and the trade deadline, I don't know. But I can say with lots of confidence that they will be adding another scoring winger at some point before the trade deadline. It's just going to be a matter of when. And, like you look at, we hear about the Marchenko deal. Now, would you take a chance on Marchenko for 1 year? It's only $3.85 million. The guy's a shooter. Now, you probably know he might not sign long-term for you. So that's a risk. So it all depends on what you have to give up. He is an RFA, I should say, at the end. So you could get 2 years from him, depending. I guess you go to arbitration for a 1-year deal, worst case scenario, right? And then worry about life afterwards. But they're going to have lots of options. No longer is the deadline going to be dollars in, dollars out, which it has been for years. And I understand why for most of the time, because it was a flat cap and that limited things. But when you've got McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard as your triangle to start, go around the league and tell me which teams have 2 forwards and a defenseman that are equal to that. As good as Makar and McKinnon are, is Natchez, McKinnon, and Makar better than Bouchard, Draisaitl, and McDavid? No. So you start with that. That makes you a contender. Now, how you have to push and fill around them, they've brought in guys, Murphy, Dickinson, Shea, that are defense first, which has been the Oilers' weakness for years, right? Getting a scoring winger is nice, but this time they actually did it the right way. They filled out the roles they needed better first. Penalty kill, defensive-minded players. Then you can go get the scoring winger, which is what they've tried to do in free agency the last few years and failed miserably. So this year, I think they built it properly to say, hey, we can go get the specialist. Afterwards, we get the foundation pieces in place.
So then you talk about the potential for them to continue, maybe make another ad or so here as the free agency continues before the season actually does get going. Is there a name in particular? I know I heard you talking about Anthony Mantha yesterday as maybe a potential later in the offseason ad if the market does not kind of work out the way that maybe he and his camp originally thought. There's been lots of chatter around, of course, Claude Giroux and the different intangibles he can bring as a face-off guy, as well as playing on the wing to still provide some offense. And then we had this one brought up yesterday as maybe a bit of an outside shot, like Patrick Kane. Do any of those names really interest you, or is there another one on the free agency market that doesn't cost you anything to acquire outside of the dollars actually spent?
Well, I wouldn't waste a lot of my cap space on any of those three. So,
right.
If I can get them at the right term, and I only mentioned Mantha, I said, could Mantha be this year's Jack Roslovic, a guy who, everybody thought was going to get money. And then now it's July 3rd, and that doesn't mean he can't get it, but with every passing day, it's less likely. Patrick Kane has been a free agent for years. And he's went to teams that I think were more convenient for his. So I don't know if he's going to come out west. Claude Giroux is definitely a great faceoff guy, really smart player. Not so much of a shooter though, right? Like Edmonton has a lot of passers, right? Like I think they need a shooter. So if I could get Claude Giroux at like 2.5, 2.6, okay, because that's still going to leave me significant amount of cap space, right?
Yeah.
I am not blowing the bank on one of those guys and ruining all my cap space. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I think there's going to be younger players and better shooters available. Like people have asked me about Patrick Laine. I just don't think Patrick Laine can skate well enough. So yeah, he can shoot the puck, but all his goals came on the power play. The Oilers don't need a power play shooter. Their power play is like, you think it's going to get to 35%? Like honestly, so they don't need a power play specialist. They've got a great power play. They need a guy who can score 5-on-5. And ideally, I think they'd like a winger with a little bit of grit and skill, which is hard to find, but that's what I'd be looking for.
Got to get that power play up to 50%, man. Get that thing really humming, Greg's. Come on now. I have one last one. Do you like the 3 goalie tandem? That's a hot topic here. How do you think this fleshes out?
Well, it is a different world now. We've seen teams last year there was 3 or 4 teams that had 3 goalies at different times. So it's not ideal. I understand that. But Anderson is not your usual starter. 35, 22, 19, 33. Those are his games played the last 4 years. So I'm not expecting suddenly at an older age that now he's going to be a 50 start guy. So, I kind of have him penciled in for 30 starts. And so this will give you the opportunity to not have to overplay anybody. We even saw it eventually. It always happens with Frederik Andersen. It happened in the Stanley Cup final. Now he did get ran over. It was a little bit different than previous years. It wasn't a knee or a hamstring or anything. He literally got bowled over. And to me, like, I know they never said concussion, but that had concussion written all over it for me. So, you know what? If he's going to be able to play now, they also swept their first 2 series guys, and any goalie, if he gets a week off, it's a little bit better. So having 3 goalies, if you do it all year long, then you better damn well keep doing it in the playoffs. Not maybe 3, but don't have a guy play 30 games over a stretch of October until mid-April and then suddenly say, now the guy's going to play every second day and then be shocked if he gets injured. That to me wouldn't make any sense. So there's different way. Carolina just won with a 3 goalie rotation during the year. And then obviously in the playoffs, they went to Freddie Anderson, and luckily, he got a week off every second series. So that helped. And then, he eventually was out, and Brandon Bussey came in and he played pretty damn well. Right. And that's a guy he claimed off waiver. So like Devin Levi if you look at his numbers statistically, they've actually gotten worse the last few years in the NHL. So I'm not one who thinks that. Now, at the same time, he'll turn 25 in December, and the 25, 26-year-old number for lots of goalies is where a lot of them kind of just like, the light comes on, the game calms down. I don't know what it is, but lots of goalies don't really find their stride till 25. So maybe that's him. But if it isn't, it's only $812,000, right? If you play him 10 games in October, November, December, and you know what? He's not very good. Well, then it's, all you did was change a 3rd rounder for a 7th. And if you look at the history of the NHL draft, the percentage of getting an NHL player in the 3rd round to the 7th round is about a difference of 3%. It wasn't a major risk to do it. Now, if he does pop here, then great. So there's still some concerns a little bit to me about their goaltending, but unless you're going to trade for Hellebuck, which you still in theory could, if you're going to convince him to take Tristan Jarry in a deal that involves something else, if indeed Hellebuck's going to get dealt, so you haven't eliminated yourself from that, but there was no other goalie in the free agent market that I'd come in and say, wow, this guy was a stone cold lock to be better. Like, I'm sorry, Bobrovsky at $7 million is just a risk. It's a different type of risk. Now, he'll play every game. That's the difference. That guy is in unreal shape and he'll play, but his last few regular seasons have not been great. Just look at the numbers. Kevin Woodley's, he's talked about it, and he played on a pretty good Florida team. So, we'll see what he does. There's always risks in that position, but if the team defense is better, guys, then the goalies are going to look better regardless of who they are.
Last one for you, Greg's, and it kind of to send us off into the weekend here. You got any plans for tomorrow's Canada match against Morocco here to kick off the round of 16? Watching from home, heading out somewhere to take it in. What's on dock for you there?
Dude, we got a big group of 16 of us all going out to watch the game together. My wife organized it. That's how I know it's a big sporting event when my wife is organizing it.
That's real, Greg.
We got like 5 or 6 families, and some of their kids are coming to watch it. And so we got a room at one of the establishments in town, so that's going to be loads of fun. And you know what? I love sports when there's it's like a playoff game, and this is like a game 7, obviously, because win you move on, lose you're out. And I know there's not like some people who aren't soccer fans, like, either enjoy the game, stop trying to change the game like you think you know better. God, it's annoying. Like, there's nothing worse. Like right now, you got a bunch of Americans who they try to find, with the NFL, I don't care about the NFL, dude. It's totally different. Okay. This game, they're all complaining about offside because they don't even know the freaking rule to what offside is. Like, you have VAR. That's what it's for. Just like a pitch in baseball. Oh my God, it's outside a millimeter and you challenge it. Yeah. Well, is it a pitch? Is it outside or inside? No, it's outside. So now it's a ball or a strike. What the hell's the difference, you morons? God, it's annoying to me. But anyway, so enjoy the games. And then, hey, I got that game. There's the France game at 3:00. My son's favorite player is Mbappe, so watch that. And then I got the Elks at 5:00, man.
Yeah,
what a day. I'm tired of the rain, but the fact that it's a rainy day, I will have no shortage of great sports to watch. So.
No doubt. Greg's, appreciate it as always for hopping on bright and early with us. Have a great weekend, and we will see you when we reconvene back here on Monday morning after the much debated and heavily researched Tom Gazzola show. Great name to kick things off on Monday morning.
I did a lot of research on that. Come up with
great,
something.
yeah, a lot of focus, a lot of focus groups, market research, all that.
He vetoed Tiny Tom in the morning, which is
awesome. Thanks, Greg. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Jason Gregor's show, and you can find his work also at elksnation.ca and Oilers Nation as the lead columnist there, and 2 to 6 every day here on Sports 1440. He's our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing, keeping you out of the penalty box. That's MrReuter.ca.
I'm excited for TG.
Tiny Tom.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun getting him here.
What do we just think about leaning into the making mornings sexier thing?
Oh, that's 100%. That's going to be our thing.
I think just in the next few minutes when we step aside here for a break, I think we can workshop something up that may very well take over as the new title by the time Monday morning.
Get our faces, my big baldy and his beautiful hair.
Your big guns.
Yeah, the guns. Exactly. I make up for the baldness with the guns.
Exactly. When we come back, we will dip over and chat a little bit more about the CFL week number 5 and the Elks in action tomorrow against the BC Lions from Kelowna. Touchdown Kelowna as BC Place remains occupied with World Cup action. Brandon Douglas, Eddie Steele, Josh Fenwick, Donovan Paulson, all in studio for you for Douglas in the mornings. You can watch the show. We're streaming it on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z, promomarketing.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Want home ice advantage for your window coverings? Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and the fastest turnaround in the city for homeowners, builders, and commercial projects. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Canada's men's rugby team at Clark Stadium. July 4th, Canada takes on Spain. July 11th, a doubleheader as Canada battles Portugal and Tonga faces Spain. Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of. like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Ends Wednesday at Pet Value. Save $10 on Hill Science Diet dry dog and cat food, $9 on select Acana dry dog food, and $5 on sweet scoop litter. Shop in store and petvalue.ca.
Wendy's 99-cent Frosty is back, and Frosty farmers couldn't be happier. Made with Canadian dairy, they grow up cool, creamy, and mighty thick. It's farm to Frosty. Get a small 99-cent Frosty until August 2nd at participating Wendy's, Texas Extra.
Sports 1440 mornings with guest host Brandon Douglas on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Coming up on the 8 o'clock hour, welcome back to Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas in the big chair for one final morning. Eddie Steele, former CFLer alongside. We got Josh Fenwick. We got Donovan Paulson in studio as well. And now there's some good Canadian content. Bryan Adams.
BA.
It's not the preferred Friday song for Bryan Adams, but
Donnie still doesn't know what he's doing.
it's easy. Well, it was the same thing yesterday, Eddie. Donovan, for the first time, learned how the phone here works in the studio. A guest dropped the call when we were on, it just clicked out. We're like, all right, just ring him back up, no problem. Donovan's like, I don't have his number. I'm like, just press redial. He's like, I don't know how to do that. He's worked here for 2.5 years.
Were you able to get a hold of this?
Well,
caller?
yeah.
I literally turned my mic off in the middle of the show and told him what buttons to press on the phone.
boy.
I thought Josh might be able to help him out, but we got Beavis and Butthead over on the other side of the board.
Yesterday might have been the most collectively dumb show we've ever done.
Don't put me in your camp.
Well, by collectively, I mean myself and Josh behind the board and behind the table here. But yeah, it was not pretty. It was
Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels.
But what was the line? What was the line from one of our texters yesterday?
Well, we got the D squad.
Well, the D squad.
Sorry, they said they're like, it's the B squad in running things today. I'm like, no, not even close. We're the D squad. And the comparison I used was minor league baseball. Like, this isn't AAA Buffalo, man. Like, this is single A Dunedin complex league down in Florida type action.
Yeah,
but we got through it all the same. We'll get through today, wrap up the week with a great show, and then turn things over to the real professionals next week. Eddie, week 5 in the CFL, as we kind of discussed with Greg, got off with a bang last night down in Calgary to kick off a Stampede week between the Stamps and the Argonauts. But the Elks, touchdown Kelowna. Another week of this. Turnout was really good for the first iteration of this. And we got text from Coach Vic said, I'm heading out to Kelowna, see family, and take in the Elks win. He's very confident. Kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event. That's a weekend worth getting away to. I mean, you can't pick a better spot, like obviously for whether it be the middle of the summer or even over the winter for a quick little jet off vacation. Like, that's kind of the area the con man's at right now out in the interior.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some texts earlier in the week, like, tickets for this game are not cheap. They're in demand. So this is a pretty encouraging sign. I mean, I get it. The Lions are a good team, or supposed to be. Supposed to be
good,
a more
they have
competitive.
a good player. They have the best quarterback.
They have a premier flagship type player.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Elks coming to town after a 3-0 start. Man, this shapes up to be a real dandy tomorrow afternoon.
It really does. And the Double E need to come out and take care of business. You know, speaking from this standpoint, if we want to look at it from a whole for the league, yeah, that's a really healthy sign. The fact that the tickets are in such demand, that they are priced pretty high and people are still snatching them up. But then in contrast, we look at McMahon last night, and I was surprised. I thought there was going to be a lot more fans out in Calgary. If you recall, Duke, last year it was packed for that Stampede Bowl. So this year I thought we'd see similar fashion, but that wasn't the case.
It was still a good crowd for sure, but did not compare to last season. So we kind of touched on it with Gregor there, like for Edmonton to try and mimic this or something. Maybe that was kind of just a flash in the pan. Like I can appreciate the team, like the Stampeders, committing to it, and like if just because it isn't as good one year, you don't throw it in the bin and scrap it, right? Like you make this an annual tradition.
Kickoff Stampede.
The kickoff Stampede. And it's kind of weird this year. And listen, I don't know how much of an impact this has on the actual attendance of the football game, but we've talked about it. Ponoka Stampede and the Calgary Stampede are actually overlapping a couple days this year, which is not usually the case. So the fact that maybe some of the crowd is still held up.
Ponoka went last weekend.
Did, but normally there's time off, but like the Ponoka's, it runs through.
Oh, it's okay. I was in Ponoka 2 days or yesterday.
Yeah.
And
just doing business?
Yeah, doing some business. So it looked like it was clear. There was still tons of action around there.
But keep in mind there's usually like the full, like the more substantial gap between the two events, like exact dates for you. But Ponoka Stampede always runs across Canada Day, and then Stampede thereafter
into July.
Calgary Stampede more into mid-July.
Yeah.
Right? So it's I don't know. If I had to guess, I would doubt that had much of an impact on the football game attendance, but it's just something to consider in notes. So, and then lastly, because it's a Stampede Bowl, the panel and all the boys there, your buddies Milt and Chezzy and Enoch, all cowboyed up. You give them some tips on how to outfit or what?
I wonder who had their boots, their jeans tucked in.
Probably none of them, because they actually got some proper fashion advice on how to wear their.
My wife told me not to, but I still rolled with it. I didn't know it was such a faux pas.
Where has life taken you that you're not you don't accept the fashion advice that your own wife offers?
No, that's usually I have to, because that was the biggest faux pas. Now, the whole reason I thought that people were staring at me was because I was Jack looking. That's my super tight black t-shirt, tight jeans. Lo and behold, it wasn't the tight clothes. It was the tucked in jeans into my boots.
That would certainly be a reason. And then, listen.
On top of the tight clothes?
On top of the tight clothes.
Hey.
And then let's not try and bury the lead here. It's a Morgan Wallen concert, country music, all this stuff. And here's this
only black guy.
This one black guy wandering the concourse, not even wading through it, shouldering his way through it, just pushing past everybody. And they're like, that guy's got his jeans inside his cowboy boots.
What's The Rock doing here? Oh, his jeans are tucked. Ooh.
You're one of a kind, Eddie. That's the only thing to take away from that whole ordeal and event. One of a kind.
Yeah, not cool.
Top of the hour, Mark Spector will be with us. We'll chat a little bit more about the Oilers offseason so far. Maybe get Spec's thoughts on the Elks and tomorrow's World Cup game against Morocco. Plus, we didn't even discuss it yesterday. Spec, and it has another new favorite Oilers player, another Latvian on the roster. He was quoting poetry on Twitter yesterday, for goodness sake. Before that, let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by All Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting. That's All Star Construction. Here is Donovan Paulson.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
NHL off-season news overnight. The Habs have extended goalie Jakub Dobeš to a 3-year, $3.5 million AAV ticket. The Blue Jackets have re-signed defenseman Eric Branson for 1 year and $1.75 million. In the NBA, the Rockets re-signing Terry Eason on a 5-year, $81.5 million deal. On the dime, in the Rockies pumped the Marlins 14-4. The Padres gave up double-digit runs in 2 consecutive games, losing 12-7 to the Dodgers. The Mariners blanking the Angels 1-0, and the Braves fell 11-5 to the Cards. World Cup round of 32 action. Spain blanking Austria 3-0. Portugal edging out Croatia 2-1, and Switzerland taking down Algeria 2-0. In the CFL, the Stamps toppled the Argos 58-36. Coming up right after the break, it's Sportsnet's Mark Spector. I'm Donovan Paulson. That's your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Did you know there are actually 3 seasons we experience in June? Spring, summer, and construction season. And while roads may be narrowed and detours are everywhere, GS construction crews are on site every day doing the work because the city doesn't stop, and neither do we. As we build and upgrade infrastructure, life continues around us. That's why we never lose sight of what matters most, making sure everyone, including our team, returns home safely at the end of the day. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Every lunchtime, hang with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Low Tide and Declan Kruger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the pets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at what'syourshare.ca.
Save big this summer on Crave. Right now, get 40% off with a premium annual plan and stream the romantic blockbuster, Wuthering Heights. New season of the reality TV sensation, Love Island USA.
Pretty hot over here.
And the epic HBO original returns, House of the Dragon.
This is the moment you become queen.
Plus, select live FIFA World Cup matches. Get 40% off with a premium annual plan for your first year. Offer ends July 20th. Visit crave.ca/subscribe.
Mornings are getting a whole lot sexier. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting July 6th on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host Brandon Douglas.
Just after 8 o'clock, welcome back into Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas in this morning, Eddie Steele, Josh Van McDonovan, Paulson, and 8 o'clock, as always, means time for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Lease a Chevy Trax for $80 per week. That's right, just $80 per week. Absolutely everything is on sale at Northgate to get you road trip ready. Northgate GM, your road trip headquarters, northgategm.com. We welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Spec, good morning. Happy Friday. The sun was out for the first day in a while yesterday. Did you enjoy it after being cooped up in Rogers Place all day on the Wednesday?
Yeah, no, it's. I'm just looking around. Like if it starts pouring, I'm picking up this laptop and walking inside, boys.
That's kind of how it seems to have been, even this past week, most recently, where it seems like the chance of rain is existing at almost any moment. And, the humidity is like lingering in the air. You're kind of like, do I go for a walk and do I have to take my raincoat with me and carry it? Because when it's not raining, it's so muggy that you need to be in like shorts and a t-shirt. And then the thunder and the rain starts coming down and you're trapped out in the middle of it. So
it's tough on the golf people. That's for sure. Right now,
very
my buddy Taylor Sinsky at the quarry is trying to decide whether to take that pump and use it at the quarry or to use it as cabin up in Nakaman Lake, because both of them are in trouble.
Oh, my goodness. So, Spec, yesterday you and I talked extensively about the Oilers' July 1st activity. And I think we touched on pretty well every new player and returning player with one main exception. And I can't believe you were showing such restraint that you didn't want to talk extensively about Edwards Traumax.
Yes.
The Latvian had been previously with the Detroit organization, Grand Rapids, last year. But then you're quoting Latvian poets last night, Velta Toma.
The great Velta Toma.
Is that how you spend your evenings at the cabin? Like between playing crib with Shelke, you're just reading old Latvian poetry collections?
No, the tweet was an Oilers tweet, I think, that got translated into Latvian, and it had this typically Latvian kind of delicate elegance to it that sounded like no English speaking person would ever write. But it was, anyway, I had a laugh at that. And I will say this to both of you Philistines: the great Latvian poet Velta Toma is my aunt.
Right. I remember bringing that up before.
Like they learned about her in school in Riga, man. If you go to the Riga, I'm told if you go to the Riga library, there's a bust of her somewhere in there. So I guess I got to make it to the Riga library one day. But a long line of famous Latvian writers in my family. I'm just trying to hold up my end, boys.
Yeah, this is how that read, Eddie. I know Spec, he's probably got it memorized at this point, but Traumax lays down the thorny thickets with hope of not meeting bitter moments. NHL dream stands beneath the pillow. Rare chance to get close to it. Signs a collaboration with the Oilers, which can pave the way to the top league. So the dream beneath the pillow fades quicker. So Edwards feels the hockey Everest beneath his feet.
Oh. It's in your brain.
Come on, you guys. Did a North American PR person ever write a tweet that beautiful? Never.
Oh my God! Like I can just picture once as we move into summer and you really get into full summer mode, Spec. I know you've kind of been in and out of it with the Oilers' slightly earlier departure from the playoffs this year. You start sitting on your deck, staring out at the beautiful scenery out at the lake, and you start penning similar sentiments about your surroundings.
I wonder about the clouds in the sky.
So this guy's an interesting cat. Like, I'd like to talk to Stan Bowman and ask if the fact that their top draft pick, the second rounder, was a Latvian, obviously 18 years old. I wonder if for some reason they feel like having this guy here might be, if they're both in Bakersfield together. I know that the draft pick's going to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to Baco this year. But I don't know. I mean, this Edwards Traumax is interesting. I saw him in the Olympics. He's 6'4", 225, so he's huge. Exactly. I'm going to assume he doesn't skate very well. As a kid, he came over and played at UMaine for like 5 seasons. So he's not your typical European. Then the Bruins didn't draft him, but signed him. He played a couple of years in the AHL. And then he went home, went to Czech and played. And then he came back last year to the AHL. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm not telling you he can play. I'm not telling you he's going to be an Oiler. I don't know anything about the guy. But he scored 42 points in 64 games in the AHL. So, and they paid him a pretty good dollar. So he's obviously a guy that Bako figures is going to make him better. But I wonder if there's any relation to if they wouldn't have drafted a Latvian so high, would they assign this guy, do you think?
Yeah, it's a good point. And obviously you can do a lot worse for organizational depth. I think that when you look at his track record and experience both here and abroad, and like I said, the production in the AHL last year is very good. So it's funny you talk about the draft pick Balskin's going to college next year. The deal that they just signed for the veteran is just a 1 year. So is it a little bit of a feeling out process, and you say, hey, if you like it and we keep paying you a good AHL salary, will you stick around to then maybe shepherd in this next wave, a guy that we have pretty high hopes for? I think there's some real logic to that for sure, Spec.
Maybe. I mean, what the hell? You got to have somebody to jump the fire with down in Bakersfield, right?
Can't be doing it.
Can't be doing it yourself. It's not safe.
Guys, you need to stop overthinking it. It could just be the fact that there's a Latvian pipeline now.
There could be, yeah. I think they've really found a character, they've mined a new load of character. They found that the Latvians are the people that they want their organization. That's going to put the Oilers over the top, guys. I think.
Just as the Edmonton Oil Kings, I don't know if you noticed, they took both their import draft selections were Czech players. I wonder if Laddie Schmid had his hands all over that. Now the Oilers, at the advice of Mark Spector, are digging deep into the Latvian talent pool.
I choose to go on, Spec. Sorry.
They say nobody reads Spec.
I choose to go the route that brother's name is Edward, and he's built like a tank.
Yeah. He's a big boy for sure, man.
6'4", 225. That's solid, man.
I mean, he's 29. He's never played a game in the NHL, so let's face it, he's probably not going to turn the wheel here. But what the hell? He'll knock off a Friday morning hit for us, won't he?
Exactly. As Mark Spec and Roger Sportsnet with us here on Sports 1440, Brandon Douglas and Eddie Steele in studio. So Spec, where the dust has settled a little bit. We kind of saw the last wave of the main opening of free agency kind of settle down, but there are still some names out there. And we talked about it with Gregor. You and I kind of bounced around a bit yesterday. The Oilers could still have some irons in the fire. Do you envision it being a scoring winger, and do you think it's more likely that they latch on to one of these remaining free agents, or they maybe dip into the trade market to explore this with their newfound cap space instead?
No, I think that the regular season's never been a bigger priority here than it is this year. Right? Between the new coach and what happened last regular season and how this coach was hired and the endorsement from the players and all of that, this normally I might say, sit on it and take that cap space and deal with it later. But I think because they've got so much cap room, like they got $7.2 million, if you have $4 million in cap space at the deadline, it's still, you can get about like $18.5 million worth of player. That's plenty to have. So I think that you should. I expect Stan Bowman to spend, $3.5 million somehow, some way here. But now we can be patient. There's some guys out there that there's lots of 1-year deals kicking around here now. Maybe you get Anthony Mantha the way you got Roslovic last year.
Yeah.
Claude Giroux's a right winger that's sitting out there that would, I'll tell you what, he wouldn't hurt one bit. He can take a face off from the right side. Patrick Kane, man, maybe Patrick Kane wants to come for 1 year and play with McDavid and Draisaitl and the guy. So there's two things for me. He can afford to be choosy, but he's also got a lot of money. He can afford to go get a good player too.
Eddie?
Spec, how intently will you be watching the World Cup game tomorrow, 11 a.m.?
Is that tomorrow? That's Canada.
Canada, Morocco. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I'm all over it, man. I'll be sitting
Has there been out at the lake, like when you're kind of little community there, a lot of buzz around the World Cup, people getting together to watch games at all or anything?
Not enough, not enough. I wish there was more. I'm all for putting a bunch of people together here, but I would say, that, I think as it keeps going, I would say this to you, if you're ever going to sit down and put a bunch of people in front of a TV for a Canada game, you better hurry, because I'm not sure, if we're going to get another one after this one. Morocco's pretty good, right?
Yeah, they're certainly going to be in tough, and then you get like the marquee game. France plays right after that, and then the Elks into the afternoon. I know you've talked about a pretty good collection of folks out there getting together for Elks football, and the way they're playing this year, man, why not? It's a good a time as any to hop on the bandwagon.
Yeah, like guy's supposed to. I think I got some kids coming out here Saturday. I was supposed to pay some attention, I think. Like I got to hire someone to run the barbecue so I can watch TV all day.
Nice.
Sounds like. Eddie, what are you doing Saturday?
And it's my birthday, Spec, so I'm golfing. I got a 6:30 a.m. tee time. From that, I'm going right to watch the Canada game. From that, I'm going to be sitting back watching the Elks game, eating a steak.
Good day. Good day. How old are you turning?
39.
39.
I'm an old dog. I'm 39 and my body's about 109.
Yeah, well, those are about 30 of those are football years, so you're right.
Yeah.
If you had a soft, easy job like a sports writer, you'd feel a lot better right now.
No doubt. My hands would be a little bit grizzled, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Your ego. Right where the pen sits on the edge of your hand.
Yeah,
there.
a little bump on the finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough on the ego too when everyone's telling you what they think of you every day. But other than that, it's not too bad.
Well, you're the man for it. You're the man for it. You know how to let that just brush off like water on the duck's back.
Well, I think, and they're in Kelowna to play BC. BC's struggling. The Elks are flying.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Like, let's dare to dream, man. Why can't you go 4-0 now?
So, Spec, I want to jump back over to the NHL really quickly because so far our conversations have, as largely and rightfully so, really centered around the Oilers. But there was obviously tons of activity and a lot of dollars handed out across the rest of the league. Were there any real surprises to you, whether that be what teams did on collective and on aggregate, or maybe from an individual contract basis that way you kind of saw what guys got money wise, years wise, that made you raise your eyebrows?
Well, I think San Jose, I mean, I think you'd have to say the most hair raising contract was when in the whole league was the fact that Mike Grier took 9.25 of Darnell Nurse and gave you back a player. And I mean, a prospect that we're told the Oilers want, a guy that I don't know if he can play. He's at Western Michigan, but his numbers aren't bad. He's not a guy like usually when you get a contract back in that situation, it's a guy who's 24 and he's played 3 years in the minors and you can just tell he's just a contract. That's not what Sharp is. So to me, I'm not just saying that because I'm an Edmonton guy. I'm saying that's the contract. The other one would be Trouba. You just signed over $17 million worth of defensemen for 4 years each left. 4 years left for Nurse, 4 years for Trouba in San Jose. So I guess what I'm saying to you is this, Brandon, like Mike Grier's done a ton of smart stuff down there. They're running a nice rebuild. They've passed the we're terrible stage into the we're competitive stage. And now they're at the we should get some veteran stage. And you hope they made the right decisions, right? You hope that that there wasn't a tripwire at this stage. Trouba for 4 years at that kind of money is,
who green lights that, man? Because all of us, I'm not even a hockey guy and I'm scratching my head at that. Who green lights these decisions?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Mike Grier's the GM. Their owner is this fabulously rich German cat named Hassel. I don't know how much his fingers are in the pie down there, frankly. He's like owns, the Sharks are like 2% of his portfolio, right? He's one of those guys. So I don't know who greenlights it. Like, I guess I'd say this to you, Eddie. Mike Grier's made nothing but smart decisions so far. If this is his first bad one, then it's his first bad one. Let's see. He's a smart guy. Maybe it's not a bad one. Maybe Nurse and Trouba are going to be great down there.
And they needed the D-men.
Well,
so they do need those bodies.
And it was because last year, Spec, they ran a D-core that essentially was comprised of all veteran guys on one-year deals, and they started to work Sam Dickinson into the mix and, a few other guys here and there. Now, they've essentially completely turned it over. Back is Dmitry Orlov on the last year of his deal now, and Dickinson still. Otherwise, it's a completely fresh-looking group. Guys like Klingberg and Leddy are still out there. I suppose they could potentially return. But, do you look at what San Jose did yesterday with this retooled back end and a couple ads they made up front? Do you think they are better and trending towards that next step of going from being bad, as you said, to now want to be sniffing around a playoff spot, which they very much were down the stretch last year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you got to have defense. You got to be able to defend. It's important in a young dressing room like that to have proper leadership, right? Trouba's a quality guy. I know he throws some dirty hits once in a while. Who cares? If he's on your team, you love him. Nurse will help that culture a ton. He's also brings you some toughness and protects all those young guys, and he's going to teach them a lot of, it's time to start to expect to win in San Jose. Like, they've been a long time down there losing and hoping to win. So that'll be part of Darnell's job. And, guys, I remember when Ken Holland got Duncan Keith and everyone said, oh my God, why didn't somebody retain? The Chicago should have retained on that contract. Remember that? Everyone bitched and moaned it.
Oh yeah.
Every guy that ever played with Duncan Keith will tell you it was a killer great pickup. He helped them win while he was here. The McDavids of the world, they all said we learned a ton from him. It was a good contract. Who cares if there was any retention? I remember when Pete Chiarelli signed Leon Draisaitl to a contract for $8.5 million, and all the smart guys out there told us what a terrible deal it was. Well, about 2 years in, it was the best deal one of them in the league, and was right till the end. So we all think we're real smart, and we all think we know. I guess we got to wait and see how this Nurse thing unfolds down there.
Absolutely. Well, Spec, have yourself a great weekend. Try and stay dry, because it does look like the rain is once again probably set to return in some capacity or another. Enjoy the football match. Enjoy the football game in the afternoon. If you got some kids out running around, enjoy the time with them too.
I will, for sure. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Everybody out there, have some fun. Stay safe. Jump a fire. Read some Velta Tuoma poetry while you're out here.
Awesome. Take care, Spec. We'll chat with you on Monday. And by the way, remember the big debut, Tommy G in on Monday for your first hit with Tom. So look forward to that.
Boy, I better comb my hair.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Take care, Spec. Mark Spector, Rogers Sportsnet, and On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you, northgategm.com.
Dude, can I throw something at you?
I won't catch it, but you can do it anyway.
You're right. I've seen those hands. That Leon contract. Hey, he did it to himself, boys.
You're the guy that tried to. I handed you a headphone jack this morning. Not only did you drop that, you dropped what was in your other hand simultaneously.
Boy, fumbled the bag. So that Leon contract, that 8.5 mil AAV that he was making, that probably, if you look at the points and the production that he put up under that contract in pro sports, that probably, not just hockey, that was probably one of the best value contracts in pro sports in recent history. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anything that comes to your mind?
The only exceptions I always find are guys on their rookie deals, which because like we're seeing what Celebrini is doing this past year, and right, like in football it's different because the rookies do still make a ton of money, way more than we see entry level deals in the NHL. And even if you're the first overall pick, though, it pales in comparison to what that same player signs for their next deal when all of a sudden they're making 50, 60 sheets now. And so to Leon, it's funny you bring that up because I was just chatting about this the other night with a buddy of mine who's an Oilers guy. Like, Leon had the best value contract in the NHL. And when we're seeing now with this whole new wave and the cap going up, there's a very good chance that his new deal is going to be the best value contract in the NHL too.
And you have to exclude the rookie deals. You're right. Because like, look at what Macklin's doing.
He scored 100 points on under $1 million AAV.
His next deal will be 18 mil, 17 mil.
He's eligible to sign it right now.
So, look at Leon. That's wild, man. Wild production.
When we come back, we will chat a little bit more about the CFL and the Elks game tomorrow in Kelowna, as well as the World Cup and Team Canada taking on Morocco from Houston tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock kickoff Mountain Time. It's Brandon Douglas, Eddie Steele, Josh Fenwick, and Donovan Paulson with you here for Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Watch the show. We're streaming it online at YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back. your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Boxing Week is back at the Brick. Don't wait until winter. Get blowout pricing now. Save 55% off sofas when you buy the matching piece. Save up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get free local delivery when you use your Flexity card. And buy more, save more. Up to $500 off select major appliances. Don't miss the return of Boxing Week, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in store for details.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think expressions and images. Your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
The big hits. The big kicks. Catch all the action at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with tons of big screens. And Selly's menu. Something for everyone. Plus game day food and drink features. So bring your friends, cheer loud and proud, and join the fun at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Looking for mental health or addiction support, but not sure where to start? Contact 211. 211 Alberta can help you navigate treatment and recovery options, counseling, crisis services, and more. And because life's challenges are often connected, they can also help you find food, housing, and employment support. It's free, confidential, available 24/7, and offered in more than 240 languages by phone. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
It's all gas, no breaks. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting Monday, July 6th on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host, Brandon Douglas.
Welcome back to Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440, 826 in Edmonton. Was that from the request line there, Donnie?
That was not.
Oh, good.
That was, I've bbeen trying to play as much CanCon.
Oh, we got to crush
as
the
possible.
CanCon, Donnie. Maybe even Eddie will come in with a CanCon request here for his final break of the morning.
Get her ready, Eddie.
CanCon Dawn.
CanCon Dawn.
Also trying to play as much rock.
If you were working in like across the hallway at K97 or at CFCW or the Breeze, that could be like your DJ handle, Donovan. CanCon Don. This guy loves Canadian content.
I'm happy that's not my. It would be
still
relative to DJ stuff. It would be a good one, but I've always thought when someone just puts DJ this before their name, I've always found that kind of dumb.
You got a DJ handle, Eddie?
No,
I'm not talking like necessarily like for working radio, but let's just say you ever had aspirations of being that guy at the front of the stage, whether it be at your favorite club or at the little festival ahead of Stampede Bowl last night, and you're up there spinning some tracks.
No, it's DJ Sexy Easy E on the ones and twos.
Okay, we can workshop that. Lots of messages coming for you, Eddie, saying wishing you a happy birthday. And the real Duke said, God grant Eddie 85 many happy, healthy years.
Thank you. I pray for many happy, healthy years too.
I kind of introed this without even actually mentioning his name. The guy, a buddy of yours that I've met and played golf a couple times, Brent, he's the one that let us know that it's your birthday tomorrow. So shout out Brent. And then a couple other guys chiming in here over the course of the morning as well. And actually, just before I forget, and I'll hopefully remember to do it later in the show too, because I don't know if she's listening. Today is my mom's birthday.
Oh,
so happy birthday to my mom out there.
And then it's my sister's today as well.
Wow, busy
happy
time.
Birthday, Jenny. She'll never hear that, but happy birthday.
But she's not a dedicated listener?
She lives in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa. So no, not very dedicated.
They don't have internet there?
Yeah, they do, but she's not, she's not big up on the Edmonton sport talk.
No shade. It's happy birthday to your sister as well.
Your mom as well, too.
Oh, wow. Now they're all flooding in. Eric, Schwackhammer, Blake. Roland he doesn't want to wish you happy birthday. He wants to know if Michael Bunting would be a good fit in Edmonton. We'll table that one, Roland, because Eddie, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the CFL and week number 5. So the Stamps played last night, but they kind of made some headlines this week with the signing of Aju, who, listen, coming off a Grey Cup, he's one of the most talented receivers in the league, but he does have suspension waiting for him, because the day the suspension, everything was announced, the Riders released him. So that doesn't null and void the suspension he's carrying. So it's for the entire preseason, which we've already seen, and then 6 regular season games for violating the gender-based violence and harassment policy. So the league reinstated him with conditions. This was back on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But they did so after the kind of reports were out and about that Stamps were going to sign him. So listen, very different situation here, but almost sort of like the Babcock situation where it's like, okay, we'll sign him and then we'll tell you if he's allowed to play or whatever. So were you surprised by this at all?
It did come out of nowhere. So I was a little bit surprised. I forgot about him, right? Because the game just keeps going week by week. You forget about guys who get injured and who aren't really relevant. Good player, had an NFL opportunity this past offseason. Got cut, obviously, from wherever he was at. I forget which team signed him. You know what, Duke? Thinking of the situation, I don't know the details of what happened. I know the stories came out. It was after the Grey Cup, and, he's probably just lit up doing some inappropriate things in Regina, saying and touching, who knows? The reality is this, though. Everybody does deserve a second shot. I'm not advocating for the fella. If he did his program, if he did whatever he had to do in terms of going and getting involved in some type of learning course or whatnot, and then he still has to serve his 6-game suspension.
And so that, he is not eligible for a game roster until August 13th, which you talk about him coming back from the NFL. He didn't play a game until mid-August. August 26th was when he was released for the Colts last year. He only played 8 regular season games for the Riders. 22 catches, 212 yards, and then obviously quite impactful through the playoffs. So is this the Stamps kind of looking and say, hey, we think we've got our guy under center in VA? And I mean, hey, you can't find much of a better example of it last night. And obviously Philpott is, I think, still their number one, but to get a real legitimized other receiving option to complement that, to kind of turn the Stamps into a real air raid type team.
Well, it adds a lot of depth because you now have Philpott. Brooks is another guy. I love number 4, Tevin Jones. I wanted to say Tavon Smith. Yeah, Tevin Jones. I love him as well. He was here in Edmonton, and he had some big catches yesterday and a couple of big catches in some other games. So they have a really deep receiving core, and then the addition of a Joe only solidifies that. So I like the move. I really do for Calgary. And again, in terms of the overall viewpoint of it, I think people deserve a second chance. I know I've done some dumb things in my life, and I've been fortunate enough to get the pass and get second chances, and he's doing his time and come out of it and be a better person for it.
And so the league wouldn't specify what the conditions are that he's reinstatement come under, but it is if he violates the same policy again,
that's a no-no.
It's a lifetime ban from the league.
Yeah. Hopefully he's rehabilitated and, can move on and learn from what he did. The timeline is, I just have my opinion and ideas and thoughts of what happened because the timeline is right as they won the Grey Cup, right when the allegations came out. And I know how those shenanigans can get, having been a part of winning Grey Cup here.
Yeah. And so just in case anybody was unaware, because this came back last fall when the reports where it was a third-party investigation into allegations of aggressive and unwelcome physical contact with multiple women at a Regina restaurant on November 18th, the day of the Grey Cup parade. So just a little backstory for anybody there. But listen, physical talent, all that, that's obvious. It's just a matter of, is his head on straight? As you said, has he taken the necessary steps? And that's, I think, for so many people, we have a natural inclination to give people second chances. To me, it's kind of human nature. But I think where some of the hesitancy comes from is, have they earned a second chance,
valid.
Right? Have they taken steps to learn? And I mean tangible ones. Don't just give me lip service. And it was oh yeah, I learned a lot from this and I reflected. It's no, man. If you did something in this case where it's, physical violence and being have you gone into taking classes, taking courses about learning more about how this impacts other people? And because so much about when you're growing up, you don't even think about it. You come from even a previous generation to an extent that I did about what it means to quote unquote joke around with your friends.
Totally.
As opposed to now, it's times change.
Man.
People have to change with it.
Yeah. And lines can't be crossed the way they used to. What used to be funny is not funny. It's now quite offensive, probably, the jokes that we used to say.
And I'm not going so as far to say that, we can't make jokes and stuff anymore. I think that there exists a line. Still, the line has moved for sure. But that doesn't mean, this is obviously way out there. So it's the suspension was warranted, gets a second chance. Hopefully he's earned that chance. We don't really know the full story. And I'm interested to see him back on the field now in the Stampeders uniform, which will be interesting because that will come before I guess Labor Day and the rematch.
I knew you were going there.
Should make for an interesting dynamic.
Well, speaking of second chances, right along the same vein as this conversation, Mike Babcock, does he deserve second or third chance, right? And you talk about it being deserved, right? And if you're doing the appropriate steps to get yourself rehabilitated and to show that you have done things to make yourself better. A guy like Mike Babcock, was that the process?
If we take his introductory press conference as any inclination, no.
That's what I'm saying, man.
To me, and we've talked about this at the time, and people maybe don't want to hear it as much because it's been just beat to death for the past month plus at this point. But his press conference to me showed no remorse, no lessons learned or anything. It was basically he just said, he's yeah, I did things my way. They didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
and then my wife was,
and then my wife said, I don't like it here. Yeah, quit.
Yeah.
It's come on, man.
Come on, man. I was born at night, not last night, sucker.
That's a good one. Good one, Eddie. Really quickly before we go to break, we're gonna have in or out here coming up. We just got the list come across. Cam. Oh, sorry. This just came. It just popped in over top of my in or out email. Cam Tate sent me an email, and I was like, Cam, you're doing Cam and Eggs already? We got that coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. But no, he wants me to read this to you. He specifically crafted this for you.
Ooh.
So we'll head into break on this note. There once was a great guy named Eddie on a football team, very steady. I have to go spend my dough for a birthday gift to get ready. Cam Tate.
Well done,
A little precursor to Cam and Eggs coming up in the 9 o'clock hour.
Hey, Cam, churros on me forever, buddy.
Oh, baby.
We were killing them that night.
I've never seen someone put away so many churros as
we put
as
pounds of
Thursday.
churros.
Insane.
Pounds of churros.
When we come back, in or out with Donovan Paulson, Eddie Steele, and yours truly, Brandon Douglas, here on Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. You can watch a show along with us. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man. No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Jason Greger isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder.
With over $3 million raised for local charities.
And his Greger Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Greger weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Wendy's 99-cent Frosty is back, and Frosty farmers couldn't be happier. Made with Canadian dairy, they grow up cool, creamy, and mighty thick. It's farm to Frosty. Get a small 99-cent Frosty until August 2nd at participating Wendy's. Texas Extra.
Well, I used
Mornings are getting a whole lot sexier. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting July 6th on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host Brandon Douglas.
8:42 in Edmonton. Welcome back to Douglas in the Morning on Sports 1440. Eddie Steele alongside Josh Fenwick, Donovan Paulson. Eddie, you left it in the hands of Donovan Paulson to pick your song today.
Yeah.
You don't like that little jig?
It's okay.
That's an institution in Western Canada.
I get it. It just didn't get me going. Donnie, it's my birthday tomorrow, bro. Come on, man.
Don't you pull this crap.
Yeah, you well, I was surprised you didn't just request the Dr. Evil one again after like last
we had
Friday.
to send KK off on that one.
That was rich, too good.
Burlap sack.
I was beaten with reeds. Pretty typical stuff, really. You've had a pretty good collection of Friday requests over most of them. Kevin has had no idea because you'd kind of dip into the hip hop scene more often than not.
Who's this? You look at
the only one he knows. Hypnotized by
Biggie.
By Biggie.
Yeah. Is this the notorious B.I.G.?
It's time for In or Out. Brought to you by Pro Solutions. Need fast AC service? Pro Solutions offer expert repairs, tune-ups, and installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Donnie. What do you got?
Alrighty, fellas. Well, we're gonna start her off hot here. We're gonna start it. The Oilers, instead of a free agent top 6 forward edition, it's going to be via trade.
When do you propose this happens, Donovan?
That
between now and the start of the season?
Now and the start of the season. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now and the start of the season. Whether that's what you heard Greg's talking about Marchenko in Columbus. You heard rumors about a guy like Owen Tippett out of Philadelphia potentially.
I never get why does Philadelphia want to trade Owen Tippett?
No, he's never made any sense
to me. He's the heartbeat of that team. I'd have a hard time seeing them trade him, but that's just my personal opinion.
Well, his rumor's been out there.
I know his name's been out there. I just don't get it. It's the same thing with Matthew Nyes out of Toronto. Like, why? Why do they want to trade those guys? Besides the point. I'm probably going to be out on this, Donovan. And it's the same reason why I have a hard time leaning into specs conversation about the Oilers. They could have this much cap space at the trade deadline and acquire this caliber of player. Okay, that's fine in principle. But usually to acquire good players via trade, you need something of value to give them. The Oilers do not have a very stocked cupboard. We know this, right? It's a fact. When you're in window of contention, you trade away all your top-end picks. You trade away what very few top-end prospects you have. So unless you're looking at moving out, your best trade chit right now is Ike Howard, is it not?
Yeah.
On the back end, you've still got a few guys, but even who was your top end D prospect in Bo Wakey, his development has slowed pretty quickly here. You know, you're not ready to write the guy off, but you're not flipping him as a grade A prospect in some type of trade. Now, Lewandowski had a solid year last season as well, so maybe there's something there. I'm just thinking apart from starting to trade your draft picks, which now all of a sudden we're in 2029 first rounder.
Yeah, we're getting dangerously up there.
No, they have their 2028. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So 2028. No, they have a second round pick this year. None in 28 or 29. And then you still all of a sudden you're kicking this can down the road to a point where I know Stan Bowman maybe doesn't care because if this team doesn't have legitimate success this season, that's not going to be his problem. But man, I don't think they have a ton of assets to swing some of these deals for impact players.
Yeah, I'm going to be in. I think that the Oilers will trade for a top 6 forward. Like Gregor said earlier on the program, a scoring winger is what I'm thinking that the Oilers will go after here at some point before the deadline.
Off to number 2, you heard the Alex Ovechkin return to Washington. I'm saying this will be the first full season in which he does not score 30 goals.
You go ahead, Eddie.
You know, part of me wants to be in. I could see him just right around 28 goals, 27 goals. But then we're talking Ovi, and he scores in his sleep. And we know he's not going to play a full 82. We know it's going to be very selective in the minutes, in the opportunities he sees on the ice. But I'm going to be out, Donnie. I think that he's still going to hit that 30-goal plateau despite limited action.
I'm going to be out as well because the Capitals have improved substantially, meaning that they can really be selective about, as you said, Eddie, maybe how they distribute minutes and stuff. But if you don't think that every single time this team has a 2-goal lead and the opposition has their net empty with 2.5, 3 minutes left,
good point.
Ovechkin will be out there until he cannot stand up anymore.
That's a good point,
on that
man.
shift. He's chasing down Gretzky's all-time playoff and regular season combined goal record. The chance to have this mark in what we think will be the final season of 30 goals in every single year. And like he is not the same player, obviously, but the guy can still put the puck in the net.
Man,
like
put him in his office.
It's not like we're propping up some completely decrepit version of a player that is just chasing Iron Man streak or a goal record or a milestone point or goal total. He's still a very capable NHL player. He's not going to be playing 20 minutes a night, but he's still going to be on the power play. And with Washington's improvement, I think their power play could be better with some of the other players, like the forward, like you had Tuck, you had Kyrou. Their defense is still a little suspect. I don't know if Vincent Desharnais will be logging a lot of power play minutes, but with that new paycheck, maybe they might ask him to add that to his repertoire. I think he still hits 30. Like, this is a really good forward group. No matter where he plays in the lineup, he's going to be playing with good players.
He will be playing with good players, but my question is, like, the minutes are going to go down, you'd presume, at 5-on-5, and he only had 5 power play goals last year. I know that wasn't a great power play unit last year, but everything kind of, like, he stands still everywhere, and then the skating's all gone. And I know he's done this pretty much his entire career, but I don't know. It's just something about it to me this year that feels like he only had 32 last year. Could the power play goals shoot back up? Absolutely. I'm doubting it this year. I think this is not the perfect ride off into the sunset. Like, he's only missed 30 goals once, and that was because it was the shortened COVID season, and he only played 45 games. So, but even in that season, he was on pace for 40 goals, and this is a historic career. This is the best goal scorer.
So do you think the Capitals are just not going to be good, or you just think Ovechkin's going to be just sitting there along for the ride?
I think the Caps are going to be good. I just don't think I think Ovi's going to be along for the ride. I think he's going to be more of a passenger this season.
Think he even hits 20 then, Donnie?
Oh, of course he's going to hit 20.
I don't know. This organization and the way they've built the entirety of the last 22 years around this player, they are not like, if things aren't going well for him, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden he's not going to be on the power play. Like, they owe everything to him as an individual. And even in a year they want to push towards the top of the division, get back in the playoffs, all these things, that is not going to come at the cost of Alex Ovechkin suddenly playing third line minutes, second power play unit. Like, that's not going to happen.
So long. He's got the longest runway.
That's not going to happen. So I think 30 is in the bag this year.
Number 3, fellas, Kyle Lowry officially calling her career as a Toronto Raptor. With Kawhi's return, Kyle Lowry will go down as the second greatest Raptor.
This is a really good question. It becomes more complicated with Kawhi Leonard returning to Toronto. And there's differing opinions here. Is this a little, like, do people feel jaded by Leonard's return here? What, 5 years later, 7 years later? 7 years later. 2019 was the championship year. So, and if he can have, like, he was so good last year, if he can duplicate that, the Raptors have a good group around him. They still are, I think they need to improve the group overall if they want to be in the same sphere as obviously the Knicks and probably even still the Celtics and the Heat and the Sixers, etc. But Kyle Lowry, number 1 all-time greatest booty for Raptors players.
Whoa.
And I actually do think that Kyle Lowry is the greatest Toronto Raptor of all time. So I guess I'm out because flags fly forever. He was on the team. Like, he was a part of that group. He doesn't hit the iconic shot like Leonard. He's never been the top 5 player, top 3 player that Kawhi Leonard has been. But, like, even in Leonard's 1 year, played load management, was great in the playoffs, MVP. But I think Kyle Lowry's the greatest Raptor of all time.
He's the heartbeat.
100%.
Absolutely.
Like, and the guy that just was never the most skilled, never the biggest, never the fastest, none of these things. just an absolute dog and workhorse, winning culture. His acquisition really changed the trajectory of the franchise. There's no doubt about it. So
yeah, I'm going to be with you, Duke. I'm going to be in on the question that Kyle will go down as the best. This whole Kawhi coming back, I'm in the camp of more. I'm not jaded by it, but it's like, come on, man. You left after you won the ship, and then you have a little bit of success, load management this, load management that. You got your embezzlement thing going down with Aspire or whatever it's called.
Nothing tops. This was via the Beaverton, which is kind of like a Canadian version of the Onion. It was like Kawhi Leonard asked local restaurants if the Kawhi and Dine offer still stands.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, I don't know if MLSC has a similar tree planting or operation that they can hire Kawhi Leonard to, but maybe he'll work for the Maple Leafs, assistant GM.
Yeah. So at this point in his career, he had a good season last year. He did, but he's getting older. We know that he typically gets banged up. He's pretty fragile throughout an NBA season. So this doesn't move the needle for me a whole whack load. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, Kawhi, because this is a Kawhi Leonard who is 7 years removed from Kawhi winning the championship. Let's not forget that. That's a long time in pro sports. Like, we're talking dog years now. That moves fast on the body. So, and I'm not big on how they treated him the first go around. The organization bent over, and yes, they won. They got the ultimate goal.
Flags fly forever.
But I'm not a fan of one player coming and having the demands met and just all the load management that was going on. And the organization completely folded and did whatever they wanted, whatever he wanted for him. I'm not in favor of that.
And he's such an interesting study on that fact about like the superstar that a team will cater to, because he's not a diva. He is never in the headlines, save the tree planting thing. He's just like the pro's pro. He's a robot. He shows up, does his job, is the best at it, and then he goes home and probably plugs into the wall for the night. Like, but you're right. The organization and the franchise really was like, whatever you need, whatever you need, sir. Yeah. Whatever you need, Mr. Leonard, just tell us. Oh, you don't want to play today? No worries.
No worries.
No, we'll look at this great schedule we built. And this was I can't remember who brought it up. Was it Paul Sir when we had him on Tuesday, Josh, about his health during his time with the Raptors was actually the best that it's like been in his career. And so that apparently the reports are that level of comfortability with the team's training staff and the way they handle him as a player is part of why he was so keen on returning to the team.
Oh yeah, because most staffs will, like, if you're healthy enough, they'll make you get out there and play with some uncomfort, with some pain.
Not in the NBA, they don't.
And that's the case though, because they're trying to get their money out of you. Whereas with the Raptors, no.
If you look at it as a player as an asset, why are you like? If I'm a farmer, I don't want to try and sell a half-ass bale of hay. I want my best ones out on the road showcasing what I got. So if you're an owner, why do you want to roll out your banged up player? Like your return on investment's not going to be as good.
Well, I guess I don't know how we would equate this, but what's going to be the loss of dollars if you have load management games because fans pay to come and see the superstars, right? So I'm paying, if I'm going to see Raptors, I want to see Kawhi, right? So if Kawhi is not in, I'm not going to go see the Raptors. So what's the financial fallout from that?
Depending on the team, zero. Because guess what? You want the equivalent here in Edmonton. The text flooded in. The Oilers hired Mike Babcock. I'm canceling my season seats.
Mm-hmm.
There's another person waiting in line.
There is a deep line. Exactly.
And so for like the way the Raptors, and the Raptors, it really hinges on their competitiveness. It's like whether you like, if you know Kawhi is not playing, maybe you shy away a little bit, but there's another person waiting. He's like, ooh, tickets are cheaper tonight. I'm 100%. Still going to go.
There you go, Duke.
I think the thing about Kawhi here is you're still getting an almost MVP level player. Like last year.
He got votes last year.
How old is Kawhi? Is he going to be 36?
35.
Okay.
Best offensive season of his career. And if this second stint is remotely close to his first stint, I think there's a real chance he goes down as the best Raptor of all time, because now he gets, a little bit more runway as a Toronto Raptor.
I think he'd need to win another championship.
What if he does win another championship?
Then it's a different conversation,
that's a real possibility. You've got to look at them as a strong contender now. Well, the guy's going to be here for probably at least another 4 years.
They were a competitive team last year.
And there's between a competitive team and a team that can win the championship in the NBA.
Well, they didn't have that.
There is no league that's more top heavy.
No, absolutely. I think that with that dude, they could push for the East, no doubt about it.
Like, you got to look at them as a serious threat now with the Kawhi addition here. But off to number 4, fellas. On this day in 2006, Steve Yzerman, of course, the Red Wings legend, officially retired, only ever lacing them up for Detroit. To me, the lack of loyalty is one of the biggest problems in sports right now.
Eddie, you're the former athlete. I want to turn this to you.
Nah, I'm out, man.
Wow, color me shocked.
Man, these organizations, these owners, these GMs, they don't give a crap about you as a player. You are a number. Get your money while you can. All you fans hating on Darnell Nurse, yeah, you may hate him because you're a fan of the team, but I'll tell you what, it's not his fault he got paid. These players have to get their money while they can because you are just a number in the meat market of pro sports. Nobody cares about you. It's what have you done for me lately? And at least in football, because the contracts aren't guaranteed like in other sports, the minute you sign that contract, the minute I put Eddie Steele and I sign that nice juicy contract, they're looking to replace you. They're looking to go younger and cheaper the minute you sign a deal. So no, I'm all about the players getting their money, man.
I can appreciate being frustrated as a fan. Like, the NHL landscape has changed so much where you got guys saying, yeah, I've got my trade protection and I'm only going to, I'm not signing an extension here. I'm telling you right now, a year or two out in advance. And I'll only sign an extension with one team. So trade me there. It handcuffs the team. They don't get as good of a return more often than not because everyone else, they know they're the only destination. And there's been a bit of a trend that it seems to be the American players that are leading the charge on this player empowerment movement in the NHL. I don't fault the players for wanting to have more control, but I think you can say that and still have an appreciation for the guys that leg it out, one jersey, one team, their entire career. What Sid Crosby, I believe Sidney Crosby will finish as a Penguin. I know there's been tons, and the fact they've turned things around a little bit, it's 1 year. We'll see if they can duplicate it. But his legacy is improved by the fact he wore one jersey the entire time.
No doubt about it.
And there's Marty Brodeur. Do we care that he played for the St. Louis Blues for 6 games? Not really, but we remember it, and it's a good laughing point. We don't have that, or we might not have that with guys like Ovechkin and Crosby. And it's so for a more personal note, like Ryan Getzlaf, best player, most not decorated, I guess, because he didn't win any individual awards, but icon of an Anaheim franchise for his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, Ducks are one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst at that point. And there was interest in him at the final trade deadline. And he kind of said, you know what? I've got my ring. I'm happy here in SoCal. I'll finish it out. This is my last year, but I'm riding it out to be a one jersey guy. You can appreciate that without also being mad at players for wanting to maybe choose where they play a little bit more. So I'm out on the question, but I can see where you're coming from.
And when we talk loyalty, I'll just give an example for myself. Loyalty between the player or the organization to the player. I signed a 2-year deal. So you think in good faith, you're going to be there for 2 years. You play 1 year, then you get cut the day before a $45,000 offseason bonus.
Yeah.
Where's the loyalty there? Right. And that's the team doing it to the player.
Yeah.
I played my butt off. I worked hard. I did what I could do. Team had no loyalty for me. So it's a two-way street, man.
And in leagues with non-guaranteed contracts, it's a totally different story because of exactly what you're laying out. Now, NHL and stuff, it's like you get paid no matter who's employing you. So it changes things. But there's a reason that, can you name any all-time great that played their entire career with one team in football?
In pro, like NFL or CFL? No. Just off the top of my mind, no. Even NFL.
Got someone, Josh?
John Elway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the difference in it's very different than it is now, but it's a good point. But even the all-time great,
look at Tom
Manning,
look at Tom Brady. Exactly.
They both jump ship at the end and go somewhere else, and they win another Super Bowl as a result of it. So it's football is definitely a little bit different, but still. Anyway.
Off to number 5, fellas. Today is National Grill Safety Day. Of our whole 1440 crew, I'm saying the worst griller is by far Bagel Boy. Mr. Josh Fenwick.
This is Josh Fenwick with his loose bagels and smear of cream cheese rolling around on the bottom of his backpack. No, I'm going to be out on this because Josh, granted, we've never seen it, but he talks himself up as a pretty good cook. His homemade tomato soup, and then paired with the grilled cheese to woo his lady friends and all of his many endeavors.
That's his go-to.
His many after work endeavors. Do you have a barbecue right now, Josh? Did you recently get it? Okay. Because the last couple of years, I haven't had a barbecue. I got one this spring once I now had a patio to have it on. But I grew up, I was barbecuing all the time. So I think the worst would be Declan.
Oh.
If for no other reason, I've seen what Declan eats. He would throw whatever it is, chicken breast, steak, and it would just be on there, probably cook it until it's
super hard,
super overcooked, crispy on the outside. And he'd be like, yeah, this is the healthiest way to eat it. Yeah. I'd be like, dude, I've watched you put 19 zins in your lip this morning. So, and that's fine. To each their own. But I think Declan would be the worst grill master.
Yeah, I probably would. I'd get behind that, Duke. I would. Yeah, I'm going to say Declan would be the worst. So I'll be out, Fenny. You get a little bit of grace. And you worked in the restaurant industry, so you have a little
I don't think he was back there manning
he was at the bar, but still, you have an idea of the industry. You kind of know. I think Deck, though, probably would be the most hasty, the most less detailed in his barbecuing.
I would agree. And no shade at Declan, but I just don't know if he's had the exposure.
Who's the best barbecuer?
Well,
you're
me.
looking at him. What? You don't got a mirror in front of you. You're looking at me.
Yeah, I think you'd be good.
You probably know how to throw down a steak.
Well, but here's the thing, what you don't understand, Eddie. My recipe for everything, it's the best there ever was. That's I can just feel that emanating. Yes. I can feel that emanating out of this chair into my bloodstream. That I've got the best rib recipe that you've ever seen. And then when he was talking about it at that supper at Chop with acid low tide and stuff, and him and the other guy are trading recipes.
And who I know, the former Double E Tim Princeton,
right?
He was down there, and then KK said how he does it. Timmy looks at him, he says, "You bake yours?"
Like, well, I don't have a smoker.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Great show, Eddie. You got you saving Elks Nation for after tomorrow's game.
We got a post game.
Yeah, so that'll be out Saturday night, Sunday morning.
You know what? Deck's at the cabin, so it's going to come out Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you double dip then, because you normally do an episode every Monday.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to go Monday, Tuesday.
Awesome. Well, have a great weekend. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. The time with the friends and the family. You've got a very busy Saturday on tap, and we will look forward to reconvening Monday morning to break down what is hopefully another Elks win to start 4-0.
No doubt. Monday morning, it's a big one.
It's the Tom Gazzola
New
show.
Beginnings.
Mornings just got a whole lot sexier.
Ooh, I'll meet you there.
Someone suggested that we call the show TGIT, as in like a play on TGIF, but the show's on every day. So, like, thank God it's Tom.
Thank God it's Tommy.
Thank God it's Tom.
Yes.
Have a good weekend, Eddie.
Duke, Edmonton, peace out.
Eddie Steele, former CFLer, Grey Cup champion, all-decade team. North Winnipeg Masons. Nomads. Pretty close, though. When we come back, we will check in with some baseball talk. We'll bring Donovan in to dip in on the Blue Jays and the Riverhawks, who, with all the craziness coming out of July 1st, completely went unmentioned yesterday, and unrightfully so. Another great day on Canada down at Remax Field. So we'll touch on the Hawks and the Jays. And then Tom Gallitti from NHL.com, he will join us from out east with his thoughts on the opening couple days of NHL free agency. Before that, let's have a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for business, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Here is Donovan Paulson.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
NHL offseason news from last night. The Habs extending goalie Jakub Dobeš to a 3-year, $5.35 million AAV ticket. The Blue Jackets have re-signed defenseman Eric Branson for 1 year and $1.75 million. In the NBA, Kyle Lowry officially going to be retiring as a Toronto Raptor after signing a one-day contract. The Rockets re-signing Terry Easton on a 5-year, $1.5 million deal. On the diamond, the Rockies pumped the Marlins 14-4. The Padres give up double-digit runs in 2 consecutive games after losing 12-7 to the Dodgers. The Mariners blanked the Angels 1-0, and the Braves fell 11-5 to the Cards. World Cup round of 32 action. Spain blanking Austria 3-0. Portugal edged out Croatia 2-1, and Switzerland took down Algeria 2-0. Coming up, it's hour 3 with Mr. Brandon Douglas. I'm Donovan Paulson. That's your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu. The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca. Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
From the first pitch to the final out. Catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
July will be epic. BetMGM Casino is coming to Alberta on July 13th with over 4,000 casino games, including exclusive slots like Game of Thrones. Sign up early and download the app to get started. Then get ready to spin July 13th. It's gonna be legendary. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus only. Please play responsibly. Alberta only. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Mornings are getting a whole lot sexier. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting July 6th on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host Brandon Douglas.
And the button out on that one today. Welcome back after 9 o'clock here in the Capital Region. Brandon Douglas sitting in on the morning show. Douglas in the mornings on Sports 1440. Donovan Paulson, Josh Wemmick alongside as well. One final installment of the famed Douglas in the Mornings program. It had a good run, 4 shows. we'll shelf it. We'll circle back maybe down the line here as Tom Gazzola and the Tom Gazzola Show makes his much anticipated, much awaited debut Monday morning starting at 7 o'clock as the new host of the morning program here on Sports 1440. We're all very much looking forward to it. And as a matter of fact, he didn't want us to say, because he's just in here kind of hanging around, observing, getting a feel for the place, getting a run of the mill. Tommy G has been in studio with us all morning here, so we'll maybe dip in and chat with Tom at some point before we wrap up this morning's program. Text line 1-833-41440. It's been popping all morning, including all the texts to Eddie. I let him know that all these people texted, and even Roland after his Michael Bunting question, he did follow up and say, "Oh, also happy birthday to Eddie." So thanks to Roland. DJ Stinky Microwave. That's what Steve from Dumheller says Eddie's handle should have been. Morning, boys. How about more CanCon? Looking for Trouble by Toronto. That's a great track. We'll have to get that in the mix here, Donovan. That's a great one. Payolas. Lots of Playlist Friday requests. I think there's probably not many spots left, but keep them coming in. If Donovan can find a way to get them inserted, we will certainly do so. Ontario Momes. He has Philip Forsberg tagged as a trade target for the Oilers. He says he's Matthias Ekholm and Matthias Janmark's good buddy. Well, are they good buddies or are they just Swedish? Because I do find that funny. And listen, Ontario Momes, you could be very right. I would have no idea if they're actually, like, there's, with today's social media, we see guys hanging out in the offseason. Like, we saw Draisaitl, McDavid, and Darnell Nurse all out with their significant others and many others on the boat. Like, yeah, they're buddies. They hang out. Now, they're also teammates outside of just the national program, but there's like this weird assumption by fan bases that just because guys are either from the same country, from the same state, city, or played together in like minor hockey or even junior or college, it's like, well, they're best friends. Of course he would come here. He played with him in 2001 on the Toronto Marlborough AAA team. It's not always the case, but there is some applications of it, no doubt. Jordan, Kevin never would have spent that long on question number 1. Well, Jordan, guess what? Kevin's not here anymore. We can do whatever we want. It's a good question. How? So Donovan, you mentioned Marchenko as a potential trade target. Do you have another one? Like if they're going to the trade route that they could explore instead of the free agent pool? Because I just think there's enough names out there that you get somebody for a little bit cheaper and then leave yourself more flexibility for an in-season move to further shore things up.
Well, I mean, I did throw out Owen Tippett's name. When a guy's out there for that long, you got to figure it's legit. Like there's a reason that the guy's name's out there. For me, Tippett was a guy I always have kind of had circled for that combination of speed, and I've always thought there was kind of more in there in terms of his offensive production. Like, he's a good player, but I've always looked at him and thought, why can't this guy be a 70-point type of player, 65-point player? Like, I think that's a real possibility for him to maybe, the floodgates open once he gets to maybe a more productive offensive system. He's one name that kind of flies around my head here. After those two, like it's tough when you think of, because in my opinion, the most likely fit is more of a right shot guy. Like Jake DeBrusk's gotten thrown around a little bit. That's not my ideal fit. I don't know if he would be for you, Duke, but that's one that people have thrown around a little bit.
Reports out of Vancouver ahead of and during July 1st were that the Canucks had not approached DeBrusk about waiving his trade protection at any point. So I don't know if the Canucks aren't fielding any offers, like there isn't that much interest, or if they just don't have any interest in moving on from him at this point. Like, this is a team clearly starting from rubble. You do need NHL players. And DeBrusk, the fact you've got him signed in, you got certainty there, veteran guy, he can contribute, like, it's a good scorer and power play contributor for sure. So I don't know if the Canucks are at this point, like, what are they gaining by moving on from DeBrusk? If the right package was there, I'm sure they would, but I'm not so sold that he'll be departing from Vancouver anytime soon.
But also, it's kind of been the summer of trades, right? And there's been some surprises. Like, I wouldn't be shocked to see another name you don't necessarily think of shake loose. I mean, you can go back and look at the some of the trades. I've been fairly surprised at some of the names that have kind of shaken loose here in the last, I don't know, what, month or so. So yeah, like the name that I would maybe go after is Tippett. His name's been out there for so long. I think that'd be a really nice piece, but people are still all over Jake DeBrusk here in Edmonton, and I know the reports, but if there was a most likely one, I feel like it might be that one.
A couple texts coming in, 1-833-414-40 of NFLers that were like good players, career one jerseys. Sean says Dan Marino. Yep, that's a very good one. Obvious one. Hot Salsa says Marino with the Dolphins, Elway with the Broncos. And then there's a little bit of an outside one, but it's a good one. Ray Lewis, a defensive player, which, because like the quarterbacks is almost like the one exception where you could see them spend the whole time with one team. Larry Fitz, great one, Josh. Very good. We'll save our baseball talk for 9:40 as we need to get to Tom Galletti from NHL.com. We'll check in on some of the Eastern Conference teams and what they've gotten up to over the past number of days for our puck report. When we return here on Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440, you can watch the show. We're streaming it online, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Experience the Edmonton Riverhawks all season long. From Thirsty Thursdays to Firework Fridays and Barking Bleacher Sundays, there's always something happening at the ballpark. Tickets start at just $21 for the best party in the River Valley. Get yours today at GoHawks.ca.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged, and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
Is your business ready to grow? Not sure how? We have your solution. We are Stingray. Whether your customers are around the corner or across the country, Stingray connects you with radio to digital advertising, including connected TV, search and social, programmatic, digital advertising, and digital out of home. From idea to execution, we've got you covered. With creative and production, cross-platform integration, detailed reporting, and one-on-one support, it's the easy way to make your business grow. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com.
BetMGM is coming to Alberta on July 13th, and they're bringing over 100 pregame and live betting options. Sign up early at BetMGM.com or download the app to get started. Welcome to Legendary with BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Sports 1440. All sports, all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
9:22 in Edmonton. Welcome back to Douglas in the Morning on Sports 1440. Donovan Paulson and Josh Fenwick alongside as well. And time for our Puck Report. It's brought to you by the World Rugby Nations Cup. Some of the world's best emerging rugby nations are coming to Edmonton this summer. Canada's men's rugby team kicks things off tomorrow against Spain, July the 4th, down at Clark Stadium. 7 o'clock is the start time for it. Sport Team Canada and help create a home field advantage. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster, also available at rugby.ca. And keep in mind, they'll be back. If you can't go tomorrow, we'll be back next Saturday night, second half of a double header of Rugby Nations Cup down at Clark Field. We welcome back Tom Gliddy from NHL.com to the program. Tom, good morning. Thanks a lot for taking some time with us today. Appreciate it.
Of course, it's great to talk hockey in July when it's 100 degrees outside.
I've seen there's quite the heat wave rolling through the eastern part of North America here. You managing to stay cool? I imagine some of these development camps in at the rinks are a nice reprieve.
Yeah, I was at the rink this morning by 8:30, so it was good to be good not to be outside. I didn't envy the people that I did see outside on my way here.
No doubt. So Tom, it was a very busy opening day, as it almost always is, which it's kind of funny because I think with the way some of the pre-free agency things unfolded, we almost expected a quieter free agent frenzy, and it started that way, but by the time things wrapped up, there was plenty of activity. And I wanted to start with you in Washington, D.C. with the Capitals. Like, this is a team that after, finishing first place in the Eastern Conference and having a great kind of turnaround on pretty short order, then takes a step back last year. And they don't miss the playoffs by much, a kind of an up and down season. But they've really reloaded here. What have you made of what the Capitals have accomplished here so far this offseason?
Well, I think one of the things that they did is something they were hoping to do last year. Actually, they felt like they needed more speed and skill on the wing, and they tried. And they actually tried to get Nikolai Ehlers, who ended up going to Carolina, and had a big difference for them. So they wanted to add some speed and skill on the wing. They've been trying to do that for a while, and they added Jordan Kyrou, and they added Alex Tuch. That's two guys who scored 30 goals 3 times in their careers each, and they add speed and skill, and they just have a much deeper team on the wing. And then obviously the big news yesterday was Alex Ovechkin coming back. So he's still there too. So you just have a guy, he was their leading goal scorer last year. So they just added it. I think they're much, we just talked here with Spencer Carberry, the Capitals coach, just talked about how they're just much deeper.
Yeah.
And I should mention Boone Jenner, who they added in a trade also, that they just have some options where they're going to be able to play all 4 of their lines consistently. It's what he hopes to do, everyone stay healthy. And then maybe some of the minutes come down from some guys, but they could maybe be more effective within those minutes because they're not, playing more than they should be or whatever. So I think that's the biggest difference for them. And then they also adding Vinny Desharnais on defense. They needed to add actually because Rasmus Sandin is going to be out probably like half the season because he had ACL surgery. So, but I think the biggest thing with their forward group especially is much deeper now, and then they can be more of a 4-line team, which is what they want to be.
Yeah, the depth, it clearly stands out when you just look at like a first glance their depth chart, and you're down on the 4th line when you've got guys like Boone Jenner and Anthony Beauvillier. I mean, yeah, you've obviously got a pretty good collection of forwards. Now, every day on the show here, Tom, we have a segment called In or Out where a producer will post some questions to us, and he put forth that for Ovechkin coming back, and it's obviously a great part for the franchise. He can I don't know if he'll announce it as a farewell tour. That doesn't really seem to me Ovechkin's style. He'll kind of do it on his own terms. But our producer Donovan's thing this morning was that for the first time, he does not think Ovechkin will score 30 goals next year in a full campaign because of this much more balanced lineup, and maybe Ovechkin, as he gets older and obviously aging, taking a little bit of a step back. Do you think it's possible he can hit that 30 threshold again, or do you think it'll just be another factor in this very balanced Washington attack?
So I'll never say he won't do it because he's already defied all the odds. But I agree with you in the theory of that. He'll play probably a little bit of lesser role. His minutes were down even last year to I think a career low of 17 something, and especially at even strength. And he may not play all 2 minutes on a power play anymore. So I do think that yes, he could possibly be score less than 30 goals in the season. He could be around 28 still or something like that. I still think he could be effective within those minutes. I think they saw that even last year, even with the limited limited 5-on-5 time, that he still was able to produce and in those minutes, and maybe makes them able, like Spencer Carberry was just saying today, he can give those 100% surges maybe more during those shifts because he's not pacing himself for a fuller game or anything like that. So, but yeah, I do think age will for sure. And I also agree with you that I don't think he's going to, say this is definitely his last year because he's not interested in all that, talking about that every place he goes. So,
Tom Gliddy from NHL.com with us here on Sports 1440, breaking down some action over free agency out in the Eastern Conference. Now, moving up the line from DC to Madison Square Garden and the New York Rangers. This has been a really strange couple of years for the blue shirts on Broadway, because you go from having this veteran-laden roster and you slowly part out all these guys that seem to mean a lot to the franchise. And you talk about, Trouba and Kreider, amongst others. But then they make kind of one of the first big splashes by the trade and sign deal with Pavel Dorofeyev. So is Chris Drury committed to remaining, wanting to be a competitive playoff type team? And because they had Pettersson from Vancouver as well. I just look at the Rangers as a whole and leave myself very confused about what the direction of this team is.
Yeah, they announced they're going to, retool, and they made the trade and traded away Panarin at the end of the last season because his contract was up, and it didn't seem like they were going to re-sign him. So they do that, but then they bring in a much younger player in Dorofeyev, and he had a really good year in Vegas. 2 good years in Vegas as far as scoring goals, and it was a pretty good big part of that team getting to the Cup final. So I can understand why they did something like that. I do think they're trying to make it the retool on the fly here. They're not going to tear it all down and start all over again, and so they want to try to be competitive and get in the playoffs or be competitive at least in the playoff race, which they were not the last 2 seasons. And it's a tricky thing to do. We've seen teams to try to do that all, and when you're half in, half rebuilding, half in, trying to be competitive, sometimes it neither works, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess that's the line they're trying to toe. I mean, the Capitals kind of did that. They wanted to remain competitive in the last years of Alex Ovechkin's career, and they had that really good season 2 years ago. And then last year, like you said, they took a step back, but they were right there. They easily could have been in the playoffs. I think they ended up with more points than Vegas, actually. Yeah. But it's just the way the season went, so it'll be, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I do think that the Metro is kind of wide open, the division they're in. So maybe they could sneak in or at least be in that conversation. Is Pittsburgh going to take a step back after they made the playoffs when people didn't expect it last year? Is Philly going to take a step back, or are they going to be right there again? I think it's going to be, there's a lot of questions to be answered there. So if the Rangers can maybe get themselves back into I also should mention New Jersey. Mm-hmm. They're teams that, they're the Devils are trying to get back into the playoff picture too. So I think the Rangers, there's a challenge there when you're trying to rebuild on the fly, where those other, I think Pittsburgh is probably trying to do similar.
NHL.com's Tom Gliddy with us here on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas in studio. So let's head to Jersey next then, Tom, because the Devils, as you said, a team that maybe another disappointing campaign where you come up short, but the talent that's on this roster is indisputable, especially the top end. But they turn the page on Jacob Markstrom in net and turn things over to, Jake Allen. They bring in Dave Riddick to complement, and then the younger guy, Nico Dawes, of course, still in the fold as well. Is it just going to be Jake Allen's net, or is this going to be a very much by committee approach in the crease? Or do you think they might be one of these teams that are in the mix to make a big splash for say, a Connor Hellebuck?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That they sign Rittich, I think that seems like they have their goalies taken care of, but you never know if Hellebuck is there, if they're he could make a difference for them, right? He could make them a definite playoff team. And I thought there was some good work done there by Sonny Meta, moving on from the Markstrom contract. And it was this extension he signed and hadn't even started yet. And found to take, Florida was looking for, I think Florida feels like that he could fit into with the way they play and be good for them still, but couldn't pull off maybe a Hellebuck trade. Maybe the Devils can. Well, it's interesting to see that. I think that's one of the big dominoes that's yet to fall, right? We don't know where he's gonna be. He could still be back in Winnipeg too, right? But we don't know how that's gonna work out. And I think we're looking at the Devils and maybe Carolina. Carolina hasn't done anything yet, right? So we're wondering what's going to happen there. So there's a lot to look. But yeah, I think the Devils, like you said, have a core, had a lot of talent there ready to start with. So they're not looking to rebuild as far as maybe just kind of rework around the edges and make their team back, get their team back into a playoff position. And I think goaltending was one of the things they needed to figure out. And I'm not sure they're definitely there yet.
So in your opinion, Tom, do you think that this pursuit or this idea of Quinn Hughes coming to the Devils last season and this, reunion of the three brothers all playing on the same NHL team, did that serve as any sort of distraction for this club last year because it was always seemed like the ideal landing spot to, like I said, get all three guys on the same team. He obviously ends up in Minnesota, but is that still lingering? Like the idea that they can still get Hughes if he's not going to re-up there, or where are they at in that process? Obviously, with a new regime taking over here and Sonny Mehta in the big chair.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not like inside the room, so I can't tell you whether it was a distraction. It did seem like it might have been a little distraction. I also think that just that Jack Hughes got hurt, right? And they missed him for all that time. Like that's a big part of it. They started off the season pretty well. So losing him for the amount of time they missed him for, and then he came back and he was kind of trying to play through it. I think he probably came back early. And then he looked like after the Olympics and him scoring obviously the biggest goal that could be scored. I think that kind of carried him over the end of the season, and he was pretty good then. So like if they get that Jack Hughes, I think that the Quinn Hughes talk I think is in the back. I think everyone's expecting Quinn Hughes to sign some kind of extension that's going to put him at least a few years down the road before he'd be available to come there. I think that'll end that conversation, and that will not be a distraction for them this year.
Tom Gliddy from NHL.com with us here on Sports 1440. So last team I wanted to focus on with you out east here, Tom, was the Tampa Bay Lightning, who by a lot of reports and analysis kind of come away as one of the big-time winners from the opening of free agency here. They obviously moved on from Darren Radish, flipping him to Toronto, but you can get essentially a similar type player and an offensive specialist without the long-term commitment in John Carlson at near the same price. Do you like what Tampa Bay has done, which very similar to what we just talked about with the Devils? They know who their core pieces are. They do some reworking around the edges here, and obviously I think the hope around Victor Hedman's return playing a big factor in their outlook into next year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they were obviously a very good team last year, despite all the injuries they had to play through, and Victor Hedman being away from the team. And I do think that John Carlson fits in well there. I think he kind of quietly had, for his age, a pretty good year when you look at especially his production 5-on-5. He was very, very, he wasn't getting a lot. Actually, one of the things that when he was with the Capitals, they were not producing on the power play much at all. But he was still producing on a 5-on-5 role. And I think he fit well in Anaheim and helped them get to the second round. I think he'll fit in really well on that team. And, whether he plays on the, second or first power play, he's going to be working with one of the great magicians, I think, on the power play and Kucherov is so good at passing and shooting when he needs to on the puck that I think John's going to have some opportunities that he wasn't getting if, playing with him, if he's on the power play. That I'm assuming he'll be on one of the power plays there, and the other players that they have on that team with all the weapons that I think he'll fit in really well. He can still shoot the puck, and he's still very smart and very skilled player.
Last one for you, Tom. Just a little bit of outside perspective on what our local club here, the Edmonton Oilers, were able to get done. By all in-town accounts, we talk amongst ourselves here in the studio and some other in-market guests and beat reporters and whatnot. We're pretty satisfied with what Stan Bowman has done without, stretching himself too thin, leaving himself a little bit of wiggle room. But from the, 30,000 feet perspective out east, what did you think of the Oilers' opening couple days here?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. It seems like, I think the question will still be in net, but they did, do something different there. And I think Freddie Anderson, depending on how they play, and I think they're going to probably play, pretty structured with Mike Babcock taking over, or more structured, that I think Freddie could fit in well with that. It's a question of whether he can stay healthy. But I think I think it might be underrated the way he really helped that Carolina team, because he wasn't facing a lot of shots, but it seemed like every shot he faced was like a very high level. So, things looked bad in the final, whatever. And I guess he did tweak an injury, but he was a big, even though he wasn't in the net for the last 3 games, he's a big part of them winning that championship. And he's an experienced guy. And I believe him and Mike Babcock have worked together before, right? So I think that I think that could be good for them, at least, as a kind of a short-term thing, and then still keep their options open as to what they want to do long-term beyond that. But I did like, for not being really overly splashy. I did like kind of what they did. They didn't do anything that's going to really hurt them long-term. We're going to see how things work with, they have 2 of the most talented players in the world, right? So it's going to be a question of how everything fits with the new coach and the rest of the team buying into what they want to do.
Tom, appreciate your contribution to the show as always. Hopefully you enjoy a little downtime here as the summer gets a little more fully underway, and we will look forward to reconnecting with you as the off season progresses, and certainly when the season resumes next fall. Thanks as always for hopping on.
Glad to do it. Enjoy your summers, guys.
You as well. Tom Gliddy, NHL.com, and our Puck Report, brought to you by World Rugby Nations Cup, some of the world's best emerging rugby nations. Coming to Edmonton this summer, Canada's men's rugby team kicking things off tomorrow night, July the 4th, at Clark Stadium against Spain. Support Team Canada and help create a home field advantage. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster. Also, rugby.ca. They will take on Spain tomorrow. The next Saturday night, also at 7, also at Clark, they will play Portugal. And that is the second half of a doubleheader earlier that afternoon. I think just around 3 o'clock, 3:45 maybe. Don't quote me on the exact one for the first half, between Tonga and Spain. So 3 big-time games here for the World Rugby Nations Cup. When we come back, we will get to today's edition of Cam and Eggs and also a check-in on the Riverhawks and the Blue Jays, maybe even a little brick hockey tournament before we get into our 10 o'clock golf hour with Gary Meyer, who will join us in studio. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, Donovan Paulson, all with you here on Sports 1440. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Hello, Edmonton. Did you know the Subaru Forester has earned an IIHS Top Safety Pick Award or higher for 20 years running? With advanced eyesight driver assist technology, 360-degree surround view monitor, driver-focused technology, and of course, the legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, all working together. And it's available as a hybrid, delivering fuel efficiency as low as 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Visit your nearest Subaru dealer and test drive the Subaru Forester today. Welcome to Uncommon.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Whatever the job, consider it done with the Lawnmower Hospital in Ego, the top-rated brand in cordless outdoor equipment. Their universal battery platform takes you from mower to trimmer and to the mini bike with just one battery. They keep the party going with the Ego misting fan on those hot summer days, and then keep the party going with the Ego Bluetooth speaker at night. Check lawnmowerhosp.com now for stock and pricing.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Mornings are getting a whole lot sexier. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting July 6th on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host Brandon Douglas.
Welcome back. Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas sitting in. Monday morning, it'll be the fine gentleman to my left that will be taking over the Tom Gazzola Show. Patience if you've had it. We appreciate it. If you've been texting in all week saying, great to have you, Tom. Well, I sorry to let you down. I'm not Tom. But been happy to fill in the meantime. And Tom and Eddie, myself, and Josh, the rest of the show, pretty much remaining intact as you've come to know and love it. We'll move on just with a fresh voice. We'll have a few changes, some things like that. But we're looking forward to getting things going with Tommy G on Monday morning. Now, I wanted to mention this before I forget for a second straight day. So the Edmonton Riverhawks, they are opening a set this weekend. They come back against the Bellingham Bells last night. They scored 4 in the bottom of the 9th and then take it in extras. 6-5, the final for the Riverhawks. They will open a set against no one? Wow, Josh really let me down on the whiteboard. Will the Riverhawks not play this weekend? They're in Wenatchee. That's an interesting turnaround. Very rare for them to play a home series and then a road series on the same week. Interesting. But anyway, I'll trust the website. I'll trust it. Riverhawks heading out to Wenatchee for the first of 3 against the Apple Sox. But I wanted to touch on Canada Day specifically because for the 3rd year in a row, the Riverhawks sold out Remax Field for a baseball game. A baseball game that is comprised of collegiate players. Like this isn't the minor leagues. This isn't semi-pro. These are college kids. And in the case of the Riverhawks, from all across Western Canada, Western United States, and Japan. A couple Japanese guys in the club this year, and they've been, by some reports, a real hit in the locker room, and they've had some fun on the social media stuff. The Riverhawks just do it so well. Hopefully, I'll have to check the schedule, but hopefully we can connect with other Jake Lamferman or maybe one of the players here next week as their season continues into the tail end of the first half, I think is where we're at right now. I'll have to fact check myself on that one too. But yeah, 9,200 people at Remax. Kevin Karius was there the Tuesday night trying to complete the 9-9 challenge with a bunch of his degenerate friends. And I got a text from Kevin at about 6:20 that said, we're at the ballpark. I'm like, Kevin, the first pitch is at 7. So I had to remind him, I'm like, Kevin, the whole point of the 9-9-9 challenge is that it's 9 beers, 9 hot dogs inside 9 innings. Like, it doesn't count if you get a head start on it. And his response was so perfectly curious. He says, not if you finish it by the 4th inning. So Karius, in his old man fashion, with all due respect, doesn't want to stay till the very end of the game. He wants to get home and be tucked away in bed. And in that case, probably before the rain showed up, which it did on Tuesday, and I think a little bit during Canada Day as well. He gets there an hour before the game to start drinking his 9 beers and eating his 9 hot dogs. So I never got an update on if he completed it or if any of his friends did. And because they were doing the real deal. That's a cool thing the Riverhawks have this year where you get like almost a little box that you carry it with you. It's just got the 9 kind of little smaller cups of beer and then the 9 dogs. It's a great initiative. Gives people something to work towards without the risk of over-serving, I think. But in Kevin's experience, I don't think you can over-serve someone like him. He's saturated at all times. Donovan, the Blue Jays, they're headed out west, open up a set against the Mariners. Good lineup pitching-wise for Toronto, as we'll see Dylan Cease, Shane Bieber, and then Trey Savage in the finale on Sunday afternoon. They take 2-3 against the Mets, who are a bad baseball team. Seattle, almost like there's a lot of similarities, I think, between what Seattle and the Jays are experiencing this year, where your best player in Cal Raleigh, equivalent of Vlad Guerrero Jr., is looking like a shell of what we came to expect of him. Career season last year, one of, if not maybe the best season by a catcher of all time, and the MVP runner-up. This is a big spot for both clubs. A little rematch of obviously last year's ALCS. What do you make of this one? First pitch today going at 6 o'clock, 6:10 Mountain Time.
8.
Or 8. Oh, it's a
8,
real nightcap
yeah,
game. 7 o'clock local time out in Seattle. My apologies. So we will have that right here on Sports 1440 AM radio feed only. But what do you make of this one, Donnie?
Well, this is an interesting one because the Seattle Mariners, if you followed them over the last probably about 4 seasons, you'd know that this is a notoriously slow starting team in terms of they always kind of get behind the 8 ball in terms of their record, and then they sort of find it in the second half. And a lot of their players, particularly in Julio Rodriguez, they usually start slow and kind of find it again, just like the team in the second half. But while the Mariners have struggled in the first half, Julio Rodriguez has been their absolute anchor, as well as Randy Arozarena. Last year it was Cal Raleigh who carried them through the season, and Julio had to find it. Now it's the reverse, where Julio's carried them. Julio's a terrific player. I don't think a lot of people necessarily appreciate him. They know how good he is, but they don't give him that respect that he deserves. Easily one of the best center fielders in the game. Love Julio Rodriguez. Have his jersey at home when I went to the Seattle Mariners series. But like Cal Raleigh, he's stunk. Josh Naylor has stunk. The Jays are getting a guy in Dylan Cease tonight who's been excellent for them. Against, we talk about the guys, the stars who haven't played well at all. They're going against Luis Castillo, who is got a negative .6 WAR this season.
Yeah, like the Mariners starting staff is supposed to be the real strength of this team. Like, considered on paper one of the best in the majors, but it's kind of a little bit very much like Cal Raleigh, a letdown spot for them this year.
This Mariners team they make no sense usually every year for some reason or another. It's again, somebody's going to lay an egg every year. It happens. And right now, Bryce Miller has been unbelievable. Logan Gilbert's Logan Gilbert. I expect him to be great all the time. But Luis Castillo has been a potato. Yeah. He's been awful. What is, in my mind, still the best pitching staff in baseball, it is 6 men deep, including Luis Castillo, who's a great pitcher. Make no mistake. But they've had some real struggles. And Andres Munoz, who's one of the best closers in baseball, has been awful too. Like the Mariners, they'll find it. They'll be better than they are, but they're still just above 500. This is a tough series for the Jays, despite the fact that this Mariners team still hasn't fully found their stride.
Well, it's a big one because the Mariners currently occupy the final wildcard spot. They're second in the AL West. They are the team the Jays are chasing to get back into a playoff spot, and the difference right now is 3.5 games.
Series.
So
gotta win this series.
You'd obviously love to sweep. That's always a tall task, especially when you're talking about a team in your sphere of competitive advantage. But 2 or 3 seems like a must have for Toronto here. Absolutely. So first pitch tonight, once again, 8:00. So it'll be a late one if you're out maybe heading out to the lake or out for a weekend holiday. You can catch that on your AM dial on Sports 1440. Finally, just before we get to Cam and Eggs to wrap up the 9:00 hour, I wanted to update people on the Brick Invitational happening down here at the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall. We had Gilbert Brulé pop in on our show yesterday, a little chat about his junior Canucks, which he himself, an alumni, tournament MVP, champion, not too bad. And then since then, the likes of Macklin Celebrini, Gavin McKenna, Connor Bedard, all suiting up for that same team. They had a great round robin, dropped the opening 2, but now they're going to take on Toronto this afternoon, 3:50. The Canucks play Toronto Pro Hockey. Currently, the Toronto Bulldogs, which is the better of the 2 Toronto teams so far in this tournament, if I'm reading the standings correctly, they trail Saskatchewan. The Junior Pats 1-0 right now. That game's ongoing. 10:50, Boston plays Detroit. And then at 2:10, Minnesota up against the Western Selects. One of the coaches on that team, Anze Kopitar, who was a guest on the Jason Gregor show yesterday. Great conversation with the future Hall of Famer and Gregor. If you missed that, definitely recommend going back and tracking it down on podcasts or on our YouTube page, Sports 1440 AM. All right. Before we get to 10:00, and it kind of perfectly feeds into it because we will have Gary Meyer at the top of the hour. He's already in studio. Extensive notes, as always. You've never found a man more prepared than the longtime Lifetime Achievement Award winner, golf pro Gary Meyer. And we'll have Chad Rumpel from Eagle Rock, director of golf down there just outside of Leduc at around 10:15, 10:20 to chat about how things are going down at the Rock. But in the meantime, Cam Tate has golfing with the G-Man as his topic today for Cam and Eggs, which on Fridays gets live read cold by whoever is sitting in this chair, which this week happens to be me. So the golf show's coming up. The G-Man live talking golf with Gary Meyer. Now, Gary once told me 60 minutes is a half-hour show. Gary doesn't golf so much as he rounds down. Man shoots an 80, calls it a par. Shoots a 130, calls it a lifestyle. But I wanted Gary to hear about this fella because I've seen him, folks, with my own two eyes, both of them, and they've filed for workers' comp. This guy, a rookie, started about a year ago, first round, 156 or 58, somewhere in there. He stopped keeping score around the time he started keeping a lawyer. He was bad, and I want to be fair to the man. He was also terrible. Doctors looked at it. There is no third option. Couldn't drive it. Irons, a rumor. Chip shop, we don't use that language on this station. The putting ended up in the beach, in the rough, in a water hazard that, until that afternoon, had been perfectly dry parking lot. One ball, one. Clanged off one of those big, fancy mower things. The mower filed a complaint. The mower has a lawyer now, too. They carpool. Everywhere, folks. Everywhere except the one spot on the entire golf course with a little flag telling you where to aim. But he kept at it. He'd play and swear. Then he'd drink and swear. Then, and this is the breakthrough, this is the man's gift to the sport, he learned to do all four at once. And then this week, I watched him do it with my own eyes, the workers' comp ones. He broke 100. 98. He wept. I wept. The mower did not attend, citing ongoing litigation, but I was so happy for him, and so was he. You see, that fella, that brave, sweaty, heavily lawyered rookie, that was me. In my favorite golf game on my Mac, WGT Golf. So round it down, Gary. Call it a 70, and somebody phone that mower. Tell it from me, good game. It won. There you go. Cam and Eggs on a Friday with a fun little retelling of Cam Tate's own golf journey. And even if it's on the Mac, I think very relatable for so many of us. When we return, Gary Meyer is in studio golfing with the G-Man, brought to you by the Country Club Tour, as we will check in on the world of golf to send everybody off into the weekend. Before that, let's get a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. AWSwelding.ca. Here is Donovan Paulson.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Off the ice, Jamie Benn is returning to Dallas on a one-year, $850,000 deal. On the diamond, the Jays are in Seattle. First pitch flying just after 8 o'clock. Dylan Cease goes for the Bluebirds. Luis Castillo for the Mariners. The Cubbies hosting the Cards. The Yankees battle the Twins. The Rays clash with Houston. The Orioles hustle with the Red Sox, or with the Reds, and the Red Sox pillow fight with the Angels. Riverhawks, they are in Wenatchee. World Cup round of 32 action. Australia battles Egypt at noon. Argentina takes on Cabo Verde. Colombia battles Ghana. Coming up, we've got Gary Meyer right after the break. I'm Donovan Paulson. That is your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
BetMGM is coming to Alberta on July 13th, and they're bringing over 100 pregame and live betting options. Sign up early at BetMGM.com or download the app to get started. Welcome to Legendary with BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
It's all gas, no brakes. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting Monday, July 6th on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host, Brandon Douglas.
Ten o'clock in Edmonton. Welcome back. Douglas in the mornings on Sports 1440. Josh Fenwick keeping us on track online with all of our streaming options to watch the show. YouTube, Sports 1440 AM there. We got Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch, wherever you live. It's there. Coming soon to Blue Sky and True Social. Right, Josh? Yeah, he gives me the big thumbs up. You can, of course, also listen if you're out and about the AM radio dial. Old, reliable on that front. And then streaming options too. The TuneIn app, iHeartRadio, and our own website, sports1440.ca. 10 o'clock on a Friday can only mean one thing here in the summertime of our beautiful city. Golfing with the G-Man, Gary Meyer, longtime golf pro. He's brought to you by the Country Club Tour. Can't beat it. Still available. You got lots of time because just $200 plus GST gets you preferred rates at all the different tracks here in and around Edmonton. Let's run them down to make sure we don't miss any, Gary. We got the Goose up by Gimmons. We got Ravencrest on the northeast side. Sandpiper over here on the west end. River Ridge down in Montgomery Glen at Wetaskiwin. Redtail Landing at the airport. And, of course, White Mud Crossing out in Mundare. Did I get them all?
That's the big seven. That's them. That's it.
You really you can't beat it. Proud card holder for the past 4 or 5 seasons. I've actually lost track now. It's essentially you get to be a member instead of just at one place at 7. And it is really can't be beat. So check them out online, countryclubtour.com. There's also a direct link there to not only booking your outdoor golf, but these days where the weather has not been ideal. And unfortunately, some of the courses have had to close for days and stretches because of all this moisture. Book indoor golf down at the CCT Golf Center just off Kingsway. Unreal facility. Can't beat it. Gary Meyer, good morning. Thanks as always for popping in studio with us on a Friday.
Well, it's great to be here. I miss old, what's his name? Yeah.
We've already written him off.
Yeah.
I actually, just really quickly, I will say I got a text from Sean at on our text line, 1-833-414-1440, because you were in here talking about Kevin trying to do the 9-9-9 challenge.
Oh, right.
At the Riverhawks game earlier this week. Sean texted and said, I talked to Carius after the game on Tuesday, so I can confirm he was still there and standing up. Standing up or being propped up? Because I would believe the latter much more than I would the former on that front.
And was his muscle shirt?
He was probably not wearing any shirt at that point.
Yeah,
the mustard stains were just on his chest.
Yeah, beautiful thing. Yeah, he's done a lot of things for sports. Yeah, old Devin Harry ass. He was quite a guy. I used to I used to think. I know that the one person who's disappointed, Ashley Meyer, the huge fan.
Right.
Well, her niece and dad, Daryl.
I don't want to tell Ashley how to think, but I think she'll be pretty pleased with the next edition of the show.
Yeah. Well,
I think she'll be a big fan of the Tom Gazzola show.
4 times as much.
As many young ladies will be.
4 times as much hair as Carrie is, for sure. Tom's got an advancing hairline. His hair is coming. His hair is coming this way. Mine's going back.
Yeah, you could spare some of that for the rest of us.
Well,
eh?
exactly. Yeah, it's not
Selfish.
right. I'm going to slap his face, as a matter of fact. As soon as I get a couple of minutes here. Hey, John Deere Classic's going on.
My favorite tournament.
Yeah.
My favorite event every year.
Well, probably that's because
TPC Deer Run.
Yeah, which is in Silvis,
Illinois.
Silvis, Illinois. Now, do you know what's 6.6 miles from the golf course?
The border to Iowa?
No,
Okay.
the John Deere World Headquarters.
Is it really?
Right there? Well, what?
Moline?
Moline, yeah. Moline, Illinois. Now, you're a farm boy.
That's right.
Okay, you would know that John Deere stands behind every piece of equipment they make except for
the new X9 combine.
I don't believe you. I can't believe. The only one they don't stand behind is their manure spreader. I mean, come on.
We've talked about that on this show before.
Yeah. How could you have missed that?
I wasn't aware they didn't stand behind it because I stand behind it. To this day, I'm a believer in the hydro push compared to the floor chain models that most other manufacturers run.
Floor chain was always great. Well,
until they break, Gary, and then you're shoveling out the whole damn thing to replace one slat.
Listen, what did you use in the gutters? You certainly didn't use any hydro push there.
Gutters
in the in the gutters.
At the barn?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I used there: a squeegee and these 2 pipes.
Oof.
Gary, what you fail to realize at Douglas Farms is that while a lot of other operations, especially on the dairy front and whatnot, really moved into the 21st century and so many things became automated and stuff, my father had a very different approach where he said, I have 4 children and those are my automation processes and they work great.
Yeah. Well,
pretty reliable. They break down a lot, but they'll always be they're pretty easy to fix too. So,
well, shoveling's important. There's no question, Now, did you have a steel grain shovel or did you have a aluminum grain shovel?
Aluminum. Well, there were steel ones laying around, but they didn't get used very much. We opted for the aluminum, but the mouths of them, by the time they would make it through one season, were not very shovel shaped anymore. They were more plywood shaped because they just get ran over. Left, like you finish shoveling something, then you set it up against a bin, wind knocks it over, something happens, and then you run it over with the grain truck, and all of a sudden you're just shoveling with a piece of plywood, aluminum plywood instead.
Yeah, see, they didn't have aluminum shovels when I was a kid on the farm.
So you're even stronger then.
Oh, I was unbelievable. Yeah.
But the John Deere Classic, currently, Zach Johnson topped the leaderboard. He's 9 under through 13 today, started on the back, 2 under on the day. Tom Kim, after a great showing at the U.S. Open, he's currently in second, tied for second at 8 under with Lucas Glover, Zach Blair. So this is an interesting event because I think it's considered one of the marquee-ish ones outside of obviously the majors. You don't think so?
Well, look at the field. I mean,
Tom Kim's there, my favorite.
Well, no, I understand, but $8.8 million is what they're playing for. I mean, a lot of
change, I guess.
Yeah, well, it is. A lot of these guys going, what? I don't need bus fare.
But I believe the story is right that because the Scottish Open is next weekend.
That's right.
After the conclusion of the John Deere Classic, the PGA, I don't know if it's PGA or who, but they have a private charter waiting to essentially, as soon as this golf tournament is over, take everybody right over to Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Scots, I mean, they load you up in a 64 Rambler station wagon, take you to the airport where you get in a DC-3, and they fly halfway there, and then they have to stop. And then they continue the rest of the way. Speaking of Scotland,
okay,
what's happening with them in the World Cup? Are they out?
Were they in?
Ooh,
it's a big field this year.
Yeah, I know.
Almost everybody got in except Italy. Poor Gene Principe and Gazzola.
Oof. No,
no, I do not believe Scotland is one of the remaining teams, as the field of a round of 16 is almost completely set. 3 more games today.
Right.
Australia against Egypt. Australia, the only Asian team remaining, by the way, in case you were interested. They play out of the Asian Federation for world events. in soccer.
I don't like that.
It's a little out there for sure. Argentina and Cabo Verde, Cabo Verde, one of the feel-good stories of this year's event, as a very small nation. Colombia and Ghana tonight, and then tomorrow morning, round of 16 kicks off with Canada, Morocco, Paraguay, France, Brazil, Norway, Mexico, England, Portugal, Spain, United States, Belgium, and then Switzerland, the only team awaiting an opponent in the round of 16. So I don't see the Great Scots remaining in that list, unfortunately.
No. Geez, that's too bad. I've got Scottish heritage. Well, I've got a little bit of everything. Kind of a Heinz 57.
Well, that's a very Canadian approach, isn't it?
Yep.
Right?
It is.
Melting pots. So do you know I can look it up here quickly. Do you know where the Scottish Open's being played next week?
I don't. I didn't even look. In Scotland, is that right?
Well, that's, yeah, I would hope.
Close. Well, you learn all those important words.
I'm seeing Scotland. It's at the Renaissance Club.
Then you could be a Renaissance man.
Great name.
Uh-huh.
In Mansfield, England. That doesn't sound right.
No, I think maybe we need old what's his face back here.
Yeah, well, I'm only as good as my computer allows me to be, but that's fine. So, the other one thing I wanted to touch on the golf front, because next week it's everyone's getting ready for the Scottish Open. It's the American Century Championship down in Tahoe, where all of the celebrities, the athletes, etc., they all congregate for a week of partying, having a good time, fellowship, and all that jazz. And then it's quite competitive.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure, as you know, last year, the champion, Joe Pavelski, former NHLer.
Really?
So that's a nice little time. There's tons of hockey guys that go play. I mean, we obviously know the connection between the two sports is
Grant
exceptional.
Pierce played in it for years.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
But then just like Steph Curry, who's won it before, Tony Romo, the staple there every year, Marty Fish, the former tennis player, he's won it a couple times, I believe. Yeah. And then, of course, the legend himself, Charles Barkley.
Isn't that something to watch?
Well, he's really cleaned it up.
Well, he has, yeah. I mean, he had, I don't know what it was, anxiety, fear, or whatever.
With the old hitch?
As soon as the club pain came back, he was confused from there on in. But you know what? He's out there doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough go. We got Chad Rumpel coming up today.
Yes. We've had Chad on before and his brother. Did we have him on at the same time last year?
I don't think. Well, no, I don't think. Maybe we did.
I thought we did because I thought there were some pretty good barbs getting tossed back and forth. Yeah, but I could very well be misremembering. Down at Eagle Rock, where I know that they've obviously, much like many other courses, had some real difficulties here so far this early summer because of the precipitation.
Well, that's one of the things I thought we'd touch on as we go through to find out, from the other golf courses, from the golf professionals out there, what kind of conditions have you got? I mean, this is
well, I know the one video I saw at from Mill Woods, your old stomping grounds, was right at like the entry road was washed out. They had to have an alternative entry once they started with just opening the driving range again before they got a couple holes open and stuff, but you had to take an alternate entrance because the main one was underwater.
I wonder where that is.
I just saw a video of it. Don't quote me because I've never been.
Yeah.
I've never even been. I haven't played at Mill Woods, but this is what I saw. And then there was pictures from Fort Saskatchewan, the course in town, that the one fairway that's right along the highway there.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a golf course. It looked like a lake.
That's a 9-hole course there. Yeah.
Yeah, that town, the course inside the Fort Saskatchewan Golf and Curling Club. I played there many times. Fun little.
It
track.
is. It's a great little spot for sure.
Yeah.
If you're on your way out to what used to be Elk Island.
Well, if you want to open that can of worms again, Gary, you're welcome to. But you need to write a letter, or maybe an email if you're capable of such things, to send to your local government officials, because that's how you get stuff done.
Yeah. Well, I've been to a number of roundtable discussions in the park with our MP.
Right.
And I never have brought that up, but it would probably be better to chase the MP from Elk Island and whatever area that would be, because I don't think that's the county of Strathcona. No, it wouldn't be.
I certainly wouldn't know, but that's how you take action. Starting at the grassroots level. Gary, you're welcome to come on the radio and complain about it.
Yep.
That will only get you so far, though. You got to take action.
Okay, action. I'll write that
Action.
down.
Yeah.
Action. Here we go.
Action.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a just double check, different Renaissance club. So it's still the name of the course, but North Berwick, Scotland.
There we
is
go.
where this. And there's just one picture on the front page here. Looks beautiful.
Yeah,
They took a picture the one day the sun was out, I think. So that's
at North Berwick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked South Berwick when I was in the area. I'd go down there a little south. You could suntan and stuff like that in here.
Have you you played in Scotland?
I have not. No.
Anywhere? I know we've asked you this before, but just for
No, you know what? When I went over to
anywhere
Europe,
overseas,
yeah, I played in Japan. I played in Thailand.
Okay.
Mexico. Well, it's kind of overseas. If depending on how you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hawaii. Where else? Cook Islands, Cayman Islands.
But not in like England, in the
Nope.
UK or
no, I've never.
anything
No,
like that,
when we went over
Really?
there, Daryl Meyer and I went over. We were skiing because we were young and active, and we skied a good part of Zermatt, and we skied Arosa, and we skied Kitzbühel. We were really something back then. I know that.
I've just looked up North Berwick. Unfortunately, I couldn't find South Berwick. I think that's a town in Maine, United States. But I'm North Berwick, just pretty well straight east along the coast from Edinburgh. So right up on the coast. I'm sure the weather will be a factor.
It's magic.
I had a buddy take a holiday to Scotland with his now wife a couple years ago, and they just rave about it, right? To go through the Highlands and stuff, and see the scenery. And we know like so much of media, like movies and TVs and stuff, they use that for a lot of filming locations because of the natural beauty. So a chance to play golf in a place like that. We're really blessed in Alberta, obviously, with the mountains so close, and Banff and Jasper, but it's a little bit of a different feel, I would think, heading out to a place like that along the coast.
Yeah, and that's the history of the game over there, right?
I know founding place.
Yeah, no, a buddy of mine, Bob Michael, and his wife just came back. They were in Ireland, and he said it was stunning how how green it was. But he said that the fences, he said they go for miles, and they're all made out of stone. So these are all field stone, and being a farm boy, a little bit about field stone. Get the old stone boat out and drag it around and stack those things. But he said they go for miles and up and down and through hill and dale, and really something to see. But everybody I've talked to who's played in Ireland, Scotland, they rave about conditions, and the biggest thing is the history.
100%. Colin, our text line 1-833-440 says there's a Berwick in Nova Scotia.
Is there?
So I know we're going to get to Chad Rumpel here.
I just got to make sure he's got his phone number.
No, but we'll go to break. So you got time here. But you got a trivia question for us today, or do we want to ponder on that to give away 4 passes,
we're
to
four passes?
to the CCT as we do every Friday. So I kind of sprung that on you. I mean, it's the same every week. So I thought in those pages of notes you might have a little tidbit in there.
Well,
but
yeah,
we can drum something up here, and then we come back from break with the question.
Well, let's stick with Europe, and let's stick with St. Andrews.
Okay.
And give everybody a good chance.
Sure.
Okay. What is the name of the famous bridge at St. Andrews?
I like it.
Do you?
I like the bridge. I like the question.
Okay. There you go.
So for your chance to win 4 passes, you and 3 friends, to a Go Play, one of the CCT courses, a country club tour, great sponsor of Golfing with the G-Man. Text in, need the correct answer. Spelling counts for the name of the famous bridge at St. Andrews Golf Club.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah. You've seen a lot of a lot of history there. And of course, the greats have all paused to have their picture taken there. In their retirement years when they packed it in, Palmer.
And then just final thing before we go to break here. Yep. I apologize that your joke was over my head.
Oh, sorry.
Much like the manure getting flung out of the back, which is why you wouldn't stand behind it.
That's right.
Shout out Darcy. He got it. I didn't.
Way to go, Darcy.
We can't all be the sharpest tools in the shed. We can't all be Kevin Carius.
No. Oh, you mean what's his face?
But from sitting on the other side of that desk, I think there were plenty of your jokes that Kevin didn't quite.
Well, that's one. And then they asked me to talk slower.
Yeah.
It was that. So
When we come back, Chad Rumpel, director of golf down at Eagle Rock Golf Course just outside of Edmonton, will be our guest here on the Sports 1440 morning program. Gary Meyer in studio for Golfing with the G-Man, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and Donovan Paulson alongside as well. You can watch the show. We're streaming it on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Question: what do you do with your metal?
Lawn ornaments.
Statues.
I made this hat for Kitty, but it's a little heavy. Sorry, Mr. Fluffles.
At Metal Supermarkets, they encourage you to submit your creations to the Metal My Way Gallery today. You can win some great prizes. Go to metalmyway.com, a celebration of metal mastery. Proudly sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com. For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
Wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Calling all animal lovers. Grab your leash, gather your family, and join Subaru and Scars for the 22nd annual Tails on the Trails Family Fun Day and Pledge Walk, Saturday, July 11th at Lions Park. Bring your furry best friend and enjoy a day packed with fun, including a 2.5 or 5 kilometer pledge walk, great vendors, silent auction items, a barbecue, and even pet-friendly beer gardens. Join Subaru on July 11th at Lions Park, St. Albert. We'll see you at Tails on the Trail, sponsored by Subaru. Welcome to Uncommon.
Sports 1440. All sports, all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
Welcome back. Sports 1440, Douglas in the morning. Brandon Douglas sitting in the chair for one final time before we turn things over to Tom Gazzola and the Tom Gazzola Show. Next Monday, all of our listeners' patience has been appreciated. Hopefully you've been tagging along in the meantime before we get things going with Tommy G Monday morning, 7 o'clock. Gary Meyer, golfing with the G-Man in studio as he always is on Fridays in the 10 o'clock hour. Donovan Paulson, Josh Fenwick keeping us on track as the production side of things. Golf with the G-Man, always brought to you by the Country Club Tour and the CCT. 7 great courses in and just outside of Edmonton. Check them out at countryclubtour.com. We want to welcome in our guest for the next segment, Chad Rumpel, Eagle Rock Director of Golf. Back to the program. Chad, last time you were on with Kevin and Gary, you had your brother Tyler alongside too, but we appreciate you willing to dip back in solo this time. You have to handle twice as many of Gary's questions now.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, how are things out there? What's the story water-wise? Do you
water-wise?
Not running the sprinklers, I'll bet, eh?
Yeah. Well, right now we're open on 16 holes. Holes 10 and 11 or 10 and 11 have been closed when we do try to open. Hole 1 has been flooded, so it's a par 3 now. So we just opened up again yesterday morning on 16 holes again, and one's a par 3.
Okay.
And month of June has been pretty bad out here.
Well,
everywhere.
and
I think.
I'm looking back at when golf professionals owned the shops and had a number of the services. You'd run the driving range. You'd have that stuff. I mean, a guy would just be getting killed right now. You'd be looking.
Yeah. Absolutely, for sure. I mean, our range has been a lake for the whole month of June. I think the only time my range has been open, I shut it down on the 8th, and it hasn't been open since. It's underwater big time because one of the ponds beside the driving range is overflown, and the range is shut down. Has been shut down for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I even had to cancel junior camps next week coming up.
Well, and it's not because of the water; it's because of the mosquitoes. Because they'll pick them up and carry them away. I mean, Well,
they're pretty big out there.
Sheesh, I live out in the country, and it's unbelievable how bad they are. You got to go out to cut the grass. You got to put one of those net things over your head, and drive fast. Geez, and the rabbits. I mean, they're constantly running. I can't imagine if you've got horses. Because it's been so wet and raining. I mean, how do you keep a smudge going?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. It's been, they're pretty big out there right now. I think my maintenance staff, he's buying fish nets to put over their hats, I think. So, to cut the grass.
Well, you got to. I mean, they're that bad. Well, I was cutting it yesterday, and they come up, so fast off the front of the mower. You got to close your eyes, close your mouth. It's unbelievable. It's just brutal. Well, and I told the story once before about Don Whitman, who was, in from Vancouver. He's a great CFL guy, and of course he worked with the Winnipeg Jets and back in the day. Right. But he came down to have a beer, and we were talking about mosquitoes. We were talking about Winnipeg, and when Darryl McDonald was out at Bell Acres, I was telling him about Bell Acres. He said, "Oh God, Bell Acres." He said, "That's out on the perimeter." He said, "I don't want to say the mosquitoes were big." He said, "But I saw one standing flat foot in the back of a pickup truck screwing a turkey." So,
yep.
Boy. So, hey, now when did you? How long have you been closed? How many days down do you think you've got?
Well, we started off late, so we lost 2 weeks there. May was average. I mean, the weather wasn't great, but I mean. It was a pretty solid May because people were just itching to play golf. There was lots of frost delays in May. And then I think May 31st, we were shut down. From May 31st to today, we've been shut down 10 days.
Wow.
And now we're not even fully open. We're operating up 16 holes. So yeah, but in the month of end of May to June to today, 10 days, 0. Just shut down.
Now, how many?
Sorry. And a lot of those days are the weekends. So
yeah, killers. Now, how many private tournaments has that cost you?
I rescheduled 2 shotguns, and with tea time events, I think it's a total of 8 events I've rescheduled. Some of them have just 100% canceled, but I have 2 shotguns that are going to be happening in August and September because they were rained out. I got 1 shotgun in on June 5th, but right after the shotgun got off the course, there was a monsoon that came in, and the course was shut after that.
Why? Did you get it yesterday? That I saw a big black. I mean, it was dark over the.
No, I don't think we got much last night or yesterday afternoon. Yeah, we didn't really we got a little bit, maybe, 2 mils is a little, but we got a little bit last night, but it's been kind of hit and miss the last few days. But yeah, it's been, what's it been, over 200 milliliters out here, at least.
Easily.
240.
Yeah, easily. Now, how many rounds a year is average out at Eagle Rock?
Usually we're above 35,000 starts. Last year was just under 40,000 starts.
Wow.
And right now we've already lost 4,500 starts. We're down 4,500 starts to date.
Unbelievable. And all you got to sell is time and space. And I mean, the weather's going to dictate that, and the seasons are going to dictate that. I mean, you only got so much sunlight. And I mean, you're a Broadmoor boy. You remember what it was like back in the day, as soon as it was light on the weekends, there was somebody hitting it. And, you'd be in the shop at 4:30 in the morning, getting ready to send guys out. And it was, on and on and on. But, places like Victoria, that's a factory down there. They run them through there. And another one, of course, is Legends, where they've got, 27 holes. But boy, now what about Brother Tyler? What's going on at Yager?
I think he hasn't been closed as much as I have. He's been running the carts on the cart path only, and they didn't get as much flooding out there, I don't think, as we did, or as much rain. But they have that creek that runs through there, so I think they just pump into that thing and flood out the rest of the city. So
Oh, that's where all my stormwater facilities around my neighborhood,
exactly.
they're all overflowing onto the walking paths, and that's why.
Blame it on Yager Ridge.
Yeah.
Well, Yager Ridge, one of Eddie Steele's favorite places to play, because he lives down in that neck of the woods.
Oh, he
it's
does.
just a little
Okay.
Johnny. I think he was there on Canada Day.
Yeah,
played
beautiful.
a quick nine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, beautiful spot.
I just wanted to ask you, as Chad Rumpel from Eagle Rock Golf Course, the director of golf down there at the Rock. Chad, so just from a logistics perspective, when you talk about all this moisture and stuff, like at Yager, like I said, they got the creek, they have a little bit more of an outlet. So if you don't, realistically, what can be done operationally to try and expedite things to get in them back into playing shape? Is it just literally you just kind of have to sit and wait for things to dry out and naturally dissipate where moisture collects? Or is there any proactive steps guys can take apart from, driving the water pump around from one puddle to the next and moving it around?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the water puddles. Like out in the country, we rely on runoff to fill the ponds. Obviously, they're full now, so it cycles through the property, and when it's overflowing, and it eventually exits off one side of the property, and it has to do it naturally. I don't think you can legally hook up a 5-inch pump and blow it all out. I think you can apply for permits. So we're just waiting for it to naturally run its course and exit the property by itself. So it's slowly doing that, and hopefully by next Monday or Tuesday, we will have 18 holes and it'll be drying up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the water table's so high, there's no place for it to go.
Yeah.
I was talking to Greg Schubert out at Belvedere, and the water from Belvedere cycles down through it. It eventually ends up in White Mud Creek and into the river. But once it leaves the property at Belvedere, it works its way over to Countryside. Yeah. And apparently, now I haven't gone out to look, but he said that basically the golf course is totally underwater.
No, I drive that road every day. I go past Countryside on Range Road 232.
Yeah.
And they've been shut for at least 2 weeks. At one point, for about a week, they had to shut down 232 because all that farmland out to the east was flowing over the road onto Countryside. And then I guess it goes into White Mud Creek and then down towards the river. Yeah. So, but they've been closed. Yeah. And then this morning when I drove by, they're still not open at all.
Well, and depending on how many days of that they got, you've got kill coming up now. It's going to start to kill the grass. And depending on what's in the water, if it's just the water, that's fine. But if you've got silt and stuff like that, it's
can make a heck of a mess by the time the doll finishes. Runs away. So
yeah. Hey, Chad, now let's, how many years you been at Eagle Rock now?
This is year 17, 2010 I came here, yeah.
17, wow. And how many years at Mill Woods?
I was 9 years at Mill Woods. I went from Mill Woods, I was a GM at Red Tail Landing. Yep. And then I came here, I took a year off and then came here.
Oh, right, okay. Now, growing up in Sherwood Park, there was... did you play golf with Danny Saul growing up?
He was a little bit after me, but I had played several rounds with Danny. Yeah, he was a little bit after me.
Okay.
Mike was even a little bit after me, but
Mike Belbin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as far as players, your game had come around, and you were going to give it a shot. You were going to go out and see if you could qualify for events like that, and. For those of you who don't know the story, Chad was just a great player, and he was really starting to light it up. And he figured, well, it's, you never want to look back and say, what if? And so he decided he was going to give it a shot. And then MS.
Yep, boom, hit me hard. Yep, big time. And what was that? That was 2017. Oh, 2017, 2018. I got diagnosed with MS in I think right around New Year's of 2017. And yeah, it kind of derailed that kind of dream for a little bit. I still went and tried it, and probably shouldn't have, but I went from player of the year a couple of years and getting exemptions on the Canadian tour, getting a bunch of sponsorship behind me to go out and give it a whirl. I was at the peak of my game, I thought, and it just kind of ended a little bit quicker than I thought.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaker. I know there was a lot of guys that were pulling for you, and I'm glad you didn't give the money back, the sponsorship money. I thought that.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Not at all.
No, I thought having $6.5 million, to back you up was pretty good. And
it was a good couple of years after that.
Yeah, well, and it's not a lot of rookies come on with their own jet, so I thought that was that was nice. You were kind of living that Daryl McDonald dream.
Yeah. Well, I learned from him, right?
So, that's right. Yeah. Well, you didn't learn that well because you show up at work quite a bit, and Daryl used to say, "What, 24/7?"
24/7, 24 hours a week, 7 months a year.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yes. What a thing. Now, we had you and Tyler on once before.
Mm-hmm.
Now there was 3 of you that were involved at Broadmoor, wasn't there? Was it yourself and your brother Justin?
I think Justin was the first guy that ever worked at a golf course underneath Ken Matson. He worked. I think he started cleaning carts, and then he worked in the pro shop for a couple of years when he was 17, 18, or even 16, maybe.
Right.
I think who was there? Jimmy Smith and yeah, Justin worked in the pro shop. He was the first Rumpel that worked in a golf shop, and then Tyler slowly got into it, and then I was in the restaurant and nightclub business for a bit after I graduated. Went to Nate, and then I turned professional in '93.
Yeah. Have you still got the disco ball?
Yeah. It's in storage, but it's around.
Well, you can always bust it out,
Yeah. Good old Fast Eddie days, right?
Fast Eddie's, that's right. Yeah. Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could you forget about that?
Well, I couldn't because there was so much polyester and stuff that you were wearing, and that, and you were and I'll tell you this, you were a heck of a dancer.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny you mentioned that, Gary, because yesterday we had that as one of our in or out topics. It was like disco day or something. And Donovan was asking who we thought would be the best, who would have the best moves of the crew here at Sports 1440. And I'm a little bit ashamed to say you didn't even cross my mind as one of the options.
No, me?
Well, yeah, but you've obviously got a chance to see some of the best in action.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
And so you can turn that over into your own forays.
Yeah, some of the best. Yeah. One of the worst. Yeah, one of the worst was
89-90, eh?
Yeah. One of the worst was Pierre Beauchemin. I mean, there's a guy that couldn't dance at all. Bless his heart.
No, he couldn't dribble a basketball.
No. And missed the guy. So bad. So unfair.
Big time, yeah. For sure. We all did.
So now your ownership, I imagine things are a little struggling a little bit there. The property itself, what are you on there? Are you on a full quarter? Is there 160 acres there?
Yep, 160 acres. 160 acres here. Yep, full quarter. And it's wet.
Yeah, a little. No.
So sorry, Gary. I just want to ask. So Chad, like obviously you guys have had to kind of endure here so far this season. It's been tough sledding both with the late start because of the snow and now obviously all this moisture. But like for those that haven't been out to Eagle Rock, and it's kind of one of the I consider more hidden gems because there's so many great courses in and around Edmonton. You guys are just outside the city, like you said. You got the full quarter there. It's nice and open, like a big course and track. So when you guys are all 18 holes pumping and going, and you guys are kind of actually at your best here, what is kind of the sell to people maybe to come and check out Eagle Rock? What's the track play? What's it like?
It's a fun. It's not the most difficult golf course. It's always in really good shape. We're very reasonably priced. It doesn't cost you $110 a play out here. I think we're priced right. It's a fun golf course. It's not super difficult, and you're out in the country, and it's a good facility. It's a good property.
Well, and then my number one question always after that. So what's the clubhouse like? What are the post round, the 19th hole? What's that like?
Yeah, our restaurant's awesome. We have a great team upstairs that do a great job. We got a newly renovated banquet hall. It seats up to 200 people. We do host a lot of tournaments. The food is outstanding. We have a great patio that overlooks the 9th and 18th green. And yeah, the clubhouse itself is one of the better ones around.
Oh, for sure, and well designed as far as tournament play. That's a big thing to have that space, and I imagine the odd wedding and stuff. Are you open in the winter for weddings and Christmas parties and stuff?
We haven't. We just renovated the banquet hall this past winter, so I think we might have a meeting and sit down and see if we're going to try to do. It is a little bit tougher to get them out here in the country in the winter because we're off the beaten trail, but we do have quite a few people emailing me about weddings, so it's going to come up in a meeting here in the next month or so and see if we can do some weddings or some Christmas functions.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do about 5 weddings a year out here.
Yeah. Well, it's tough because the parking becomes an issue. If you got a wedding, and the golf course can sit, and you got to get people parked and get them out there. The golf course itself, very player friendly. You're not digging around in the trees and stuff like that. Pace of play is normally pretty good out there, Chad.
Yeah, I think it is. I think people do complain about pace of play, but they complain about it everywhere.
Exactly.
But we track it pretty good here, and on the weekends it's usually earlier you play, the quicker it is. And at 2:00 on a busy Saturday afternoon, it might take you 4.5 hours, 4:45. But that's just the way golf is nowadays. And you play early, you finish quicker, and you play later. On a nice day, it's going to take you a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah. Well, all it takes is that one group. You can only go as fast as the people in front of you. And what kills you a lot of the times is you'll get a slow group out there in the morning. Well, now the pace is set. You can't go any faster than that.
Right.
So, if they're taking 4.5, then that's what it's going to be. It's tough to lap
we're
anybody.
a public golf course. Golf is for all levels of play. Whether you're a 30 handicap or a 10 handicap, it is a sport where, every level is welcome to come play. So at a public golf course, we don't ask what your handicap is. We just check you in and have a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Chad, I appreciate your time and giving us an update on how things are going down to the Rock there. I want to leave you with this, and it's at the expense of your brother here. This text came in from EG on our text line. One of my favorite Gary Meyer jokes. Coming down the 9th at Millwoods at the Pro-Am. Here comes Tyler Rumpel. He was the first golf pro to choose to work in the hot dog hut instead of the pro shop. So that's a classic, no doubt.
Yeah, that is a classic. I remember those days when Gary used to do that. A lot of fun, those good old Pro-Am days at Millwoods.
Oh, it was a hoot. And your brother has he's closed many restaurants just because of the all you can eat buffets. And you see the guy out heading out for the parking lot, he's left the keys. There's nothing. Yeah, he strikes fear into any Chinese food buffet with all you can eat.
We might have to take him up there to the castle one time here for our
these past playoff runs. We were going to long shots, and they had all you can eat wings for a certain price. Well, the first year the Oilers were in the playoffs, he had all you can eat wings for a certain amount, and the next year, I don't think Rob did it at long shots.
Well, it wasn't.
Because when Tyler's taking down 5 or 6 orders, it's not going to leave much for anyone else out there.
No,
very true.
Well, we were going from 9 to 10 the one day, and I said, what do you want on your hot dog? He said a hamburger. So I thought that was, geez, a little much.
Chad, thanks for the update. As I mentioned, appreciate it. We're wishing you guys the best to get things dried out and back to all 18 holes in action, and look forward to sneaking our way down there to get around in here before the summer's over. Thanks a lot for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, Chad. Over.
Chad Rumpel, Eagle Rock Golf Course Director of Golf, down just south of Edmonton, kind of Leduc County.
Not
Because
far
I mean,
from the
just
airport.
no, not very far at all.
Beaumont,
from the
they
airport.
get a lot of play
Beaumont,
from
I think, is
Beaumont.
the closest municipality, I guess.
Yeah,
technically is what it
well,
would-
and Luma.
well, great. I've been to the Luma Community Hall.
Yeah. Now, what were you doing at the Luma Community Hall?
Well, I don't know if you know this, Gary. When I first started in the biz, my first job in radio was for our friends down the hallway here at the CFCW.
Oh.
And I was out cruising the pickup truck around all summer long to every pancake breakfast, rodeo, and Mother's Day event. I guess Father's Day event more appropriately be in June, but like all summer long.
Yeah.
And they have the contest where you scan a QR code, you enter to win at that time it was a holiday trailer. And then this year, you remember Mackenzie? She was our intern here, and now she's works for us still behind the scenes doing a lot of our social stuff. She's doing that job for CFCW this summer.
And what are they giving away?
Real gold from downstairs here, which
yeah.
is pretty good, and then lots of great Elks prizes because I think the Elks are the premier sponsor this year. This year it's called the Green and Gold for with our friends at CFCW.
Nice. Well,
I went to Luma for
Luma.
probably a show and shine or a pancake breakfast. Or I can't even remember what, but I definitely remember going. I was like, to me, none of these places really exist as the middle of nowhere because, well, I'm from one of those places.
Yeah.
And but Luma, I mean, that makes Delburn look like a metropolis. So.
Well, no, it's small. Matter of fact, a fellow that lives in Luma does the upholstery on my convertible.
Oh,
I got
really?
A 72 Cadillac Supreme. Yeah, and he's really good.
Yeah.
Used to be a big parts dealership. Luma Auto Parts was huge at one time out there. And of course, it was just down the road from Belvedere. So if I ever needed anything, I was, whipped down there and see Jerry Nelner was the guy that owned it down there. But no, they're just a hoot and a holler down the road from both Northern Bear and Eagle Rock. I mean, they're just on the
they're all right there.
Other side of the highway. But it's interesting, because we want to talk to a number of the golf professionals around town to find out,
Mm-hmm.
where things are at. You look at Eagle Rock. I mean, 10 days out of the summer. I mean,
it's been brutal for so many courses. Because you said it when we were on with Chad, like in Alberta, the season is so short,
right?
And so then all of a sudden you wipe out essentially close to a full month of it because of this. Like, man, that hits the bottom line really hard.
Yeah. Well, not only, I mean, the days you're closed, but because of your conditions. You
Even
can't
when
get
you're open.
Well, power cards. You can't get the power cards out. I mean, cart path only. There's some people that just can't play. They need to, they need to be able to drive out in the fairway, and so that knocks down your list of clientele. But so it'll be interesting to find out what things are like. I'm interested to find out what's going on at the Northern Bear. I know that the challenges with the clubhouse,
right?
And so we'll talk to. Irv out there, or we'll talk to our good friend Blair,
right?
McDowell,
yeah,
and see what's going on. But I know that they've had some flooding issues out there. There's a couple of holes
I think it has
along the fence
been
line.
the worst kind of on the eastern part of the city, and then obviously like if you haven't seen the pictures and stuff from Toefield, like the town's underwater.
Yeah.
And that's obviously stretching a little bit further east. So it's being felt everywhere. But from what I've seen and kind of come across my desk, it seems like to the east is a little bit worse off than
for sure
than maybe the other direction.
Yeah, no, I live just the other side of Highway 21, and,
Right.
and I guarantee you that we got and at places twice as much. I mean, it rains so hard. The only other time I've seen it rain that hard, I got caught in a monsoon when we were playing in Jamaica. We had come over from, been invited to play in the Jamaica Open, missed the cut. Daryl made the cut, and then he went crazy. And anyway, fly over to Montego Bay, and I mean, raining, like guys are throwing pails of water at you. It's coming down, and then there's waves of it. It was warm. That's the difference. I mean, but I got that one night there looking out. I mean, you couldn't hardly see 10 feet and just pounding. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So we'll step aside for our final break of the show. When we return, we'll let you know what's coming up on the station for the rest of the day and the weekend as we send you off on a Friday morning. And we'll also hand away our winners, or select our winner, hand away our passes, 4 passes to a round of golf at the CCT Country Club Tour course of your choice. The question, Gary, was at St. Andrews in kind of a lead up to next weekend's Scottish Open. The famous bridge at St. Andrews, what is its name? Tons of correct answers in already. We will take all the correct ones, put them in the wheel, and spin it. Donovan will find ourselves a winner, and we'll be in touch with them and announce it when we return. And we've also got a text from our buddy David the Goose, formerly David Whitetail, 2 of the great 7 tracks for the Country Club Tour. All that to wrap up the week, wrap up the show when we return here on Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. Gary Meyer, Donovan Paulson, and Josh Femick all alongside me in studio here. You can watch the show as we close it out. We're streaming it on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
The Lawnmower Hospital. You're looking for the best zero-turn mower? Go to the source. Hassler Turf in the Lawnmower Hospital. Hassler Turf started the zero-turn market in 1964, and they're still the kings of quality, durability, and performance. With versatile sizing from 34 to 104 inches, you'll have what you need to make your summer lawn care a breeze. Financing is always available. Check lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Here's what you need to know about Lux Windows. We work hard. We come in early, we stay late, we go above and beyond, and then we go a little further. Not for awards or a pat on the back. We work hard so that choosing our windows and doors is an easy decision for you. It's the Alberta way. It's the Lux way. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
I'm too sexy.
Mornings are getting a whole lot sexier. The Tom Gazzola Show, starting July 6th on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Here's guest host Brandon Douglas.
Back home stretch of Douglas in the Mornings on Sports 1440. First time in, nearly 3 years. We do not round out the show with a little bit south of Saskatoon.
Yeah, what's the deal there?
Well, Donovan asked me if that was still going to be the conclusion, and I thought, you know what? We've already moved on from that other guy, buddy guy.
Oh,
what'd you say? It was Darren Harry ass or something?
No,
Devin, sorry. Right. How could
try to remember the guy's name. He's a legend in his own mind.
A local legend.
Yeah.
So I turned it over to Donovan to play the final song for today, and then moving forward, with the TG starting on Monday morning, 7 o'clock. The Tom Gazzola Show makes its debut here on Sports 1440.
Yep.
We'll let Tom pick the new Friday outro song.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a little bit south of Saskatoon. That was Kevin's pick for Playlist Friday every week.
Yeah. No.
It was an awesome way to send us off. So I think in honor of Kevin and his great prolific career, we retire it with him. Now, listen. Moving forward, if people want to text in on Friday when we do play this Friday, if we will continue doing that, and they want to hear that song at any other point throughout the show, I'll be happy to play it.
Okay,
but we'll have a new Friday outro track starting next week.
Right. Well, and is this going to be after the parade? The Tom.
That I think is scheduled for tomorrow morning at the halftime of the Canada and Morocco game.
Oh, okay.
Check your local listings because I think it's televised.
Yeah. And they said
locally.
Tom was going to sing the national anthem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which
Just
is
like
nice.
Brett Kissel last night at the Stampeders game. The Stampede Bowl, Gary. Did you know that? Were you aware that this was a new tradition in the CFL? The Stampeders play a home game the Thursday night of Stampede Week opening up.
Yeah.
And they call it the greatest outdoor show on turf.
On turf. Oh, okay. Well, because I spent, I was 6 years at Redwood Meadows, which is, just outside of Calgary.
Right.
I loved the Stampede.
So I working there, like, do you, because we know how the influx of people to Calgary during the Stampede from literally all over the world.
Yeah.
So obviously the businesses in the immediate adjacent nature to Stampede Park and stuff, they see a big uptick. Did you notice anything like that from the golf course wise? Because I think it can go both ways. Either people from out of town come in, they're like, yeah, let's try and squeeze in around while we're here for the weekend or whatever.
Yep.
But then also maybe the locals that say, oh my God, all these people coming to Calgary for the Stampede. Let's get away from the city a little bit and maybe step just outside and go play golf a little bit more.
Yeah, we had some of that. Guys would go to BC. Some of them, would rent their properties.
Oh, yeah, I'd believe it for sure.
And do that. But yeah, you could tell by the names on the starting sheet that, you had people in from out of town. And there's no question in my mind, it's the greatest outdoor show on earth.
So I got one question from the text line to wrap up before we announce our winner for this week's trivia for 4 passes to the Country Club Tour. Your question, the answer was?
Swillican Bridge.
Swillican Bridge. Lots of right answers. One incorrect answer, I think. Someone said Hogan Bridge.
No, the Hogan Bridge is at 16.
Okay.
Wait a minute. 10, 11, 12. 12 is the Hogan Bridge at Augusta National.
That's not my question. My question comes from Kyle.
Okay.
Question for the G-Man. I have a buddy that may or may not be in the studio.
Okay.
He can bomb the big stick, but most of the time he can't putt to save his life. What should he do to dial in the game? So my first question is, who do you think he's talking about? And the second, do you have an answer to the infamous problem of just like swinging the driver like crazy and then no short game?
Well, I'm looking at the guys that are here. I mean, it could be anybody because, guys are all.
I don't think it's me.
No, it's not you, but look at the pipes on you.
That's so true.
You hit it deep.
I wish I've learned that if you hit the ball straight, it goes a lot further than if you take a big banana starting on one side of the fairway and ending up in the rough on the other.
Yeah, but think of the aerial view that ball's getting.
Well, I like to get my money's worth and see as much of the course as possible, and that goes double for my ball, not just me.
Well, that's why they call it Army golf, left, right.
Exactly.
Right,
so it's talking about Donovan.
Oh, it is.
Who I have a firsthand account from Andrew Walker that he can bomb it pretty good. I mean, he's like lanky, right? So that fits the profile. But what do they say? You drive for show and you putt for dough. Yeah. Donovan, hit the lab. Get to work on the short game.
And listen, George Knutson, I asked him, because George was not a great putter. And I said, if you had it to do over again, would you work more on your putting? He said, no. I said, why not? He said, because that wasn't where it was with me. He said, with me, it was trajectory, ball flight, and hitting it solid. I said, so what would you have done different? Now you can write this down, Donovan. Hit it closer.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah, that's
very
what he
good
said.
point.
Hit it
Donovan, you got a winner for us for 4 passes?
I do. It is going to be Stretch.
All right. We'll get Stretch's information. You can send him a quick text. We just need his full name, text, or phone cell number, and an email address. We'll get that passed along to the folks down at CCT. Stretch, you'll just have to go pick it up down at the HQ just off Kingsway. Gary, great show as always. Thanks for popping in.
That's always great. I see Sean Bell's here.
Oh, it's big time.
The legend. I might punch him out on the way out.
Oh. Well, you won't have my backup, unfortunately. Maybe Donovan can help you.
Well, I can run faster scared than he can, Matt.
Have a great weekend, Gary. We'll see you next Friday. Golfing with the G-Man, brought to you by the Country Club Tour. 7 great courses in and around Edmonton. Check them out, countryclubtour.com. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into the show today and all week. Is a little bit of a kind of transition phase with yours truly sitting in the big chair. Monday morning, 7 a.m., Tom Gazzola, the Tom Gazzola Show, will make its debut as the new morning show here on Sports 1440. Enjoy Canada and Morocco tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Enjoy the Elks out in Kelowna taking on BC tomorrow afternoon. The Blue Jays with their set in Seattle. Lots to talk about when we reconvene Monday morning. Eddie Steele and Big Tommy G. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay dry if you're going to be out and about. And let's wrap it up with a final Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of RE/MAX Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Take care, everyone. Here is Donovan Paulson.
The Sports 1440 update.
Off the ice, Jamie Benn returning to Dallas on a one-year $850K deal. In the NBA, Kyle Lowry retiring as a Toronto Raptor after signing a one-day contract on the diamond. The Jays are in Seattle. First pitch flying 10 after 8. Dylan Cease goes for the Bluebirds. Luis Castillo for the Mariners. Other action around the majors. Cubbies hosting the Cards. Yankees battling the Twins. Rays clashing with Houston. Orioles tussle with the Reds. And the Red Sox pillow fight the Angels. Riverhawks, they're also in Wenatchee. Coming up on Sports 1440, Fantasy Frenzy without Hallie or Douglas. I'm Donovan Paulson. That's your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall.